Hello! Welcome to Tiny Treefort. It's a miniature celebration of the Frame Fatales community, and specifically showing off a bunch of our Game of the Month games that we did in the past. Today we have a couple things for you, but starting us off today is going to be Tetris Effect by Kirby7003. How you doing?
I am doing pretty well.
I think I added too many numbers to you. I think I said 7003, which is like 10 times as much Kirby.
There are 7,003 of us, but I am number 703.
Okay. I'm glad that we were able to figure out the exact lore of it.
Should I get us started then?
Yeah, feel free.
Alrighty. I'm running Journey mode, specifically Expert difficulty. Should be half an hour, and then I think I'll get to showcase some other modes. Because Tetris Effect has gotten a fair few updates lately, so...
Yeah, I don't think I've played it since it came out.
You know, if you haven't played it since it came out, you're missing out.
I know, I should. The problem is I have to go set up my PS4 to do it, because that's where I have it. Like, that's an ordeal. Also, I will certainly not play it as well, so...
I can't believe I just got a Steam achievement live during my own run.
Wait, what achievement?
Bin artist? It's just spin the piece 10,000 times. I just haven't played that much on the Steam version, I guess.
Well, you were all here to witness the 10,000th spin. So consider yourself all blessed.
So true.
So, what... Explain this run as a run.
So, Tetris Effect doesn't really have speedruns that are longer than, like, you know, a minute. Like, you can speedrun clear 40 lines in the sprint game mode, but there's also this journey mode, which is sort of like the canonical, you know, way to play Tetris Effect. It shows off all the cool stages that you didn't get to see just playing sprint, and it's something like 1,000 lines, depending on which difficulty you play on. So
makes sense.
That's the speedrun, really, is just beat journey mode. The speed will change throughout, and the graphics will change throughout, but, like, you know, it's Tetris. It doesn't get that complicated in a mainline game.
People haven't played this game, by the way. It is so good. I cannot recommend Tetris Effect enough.
I would highly recommend it.
It is one of, if not the coolest Tetris.
I am a little bit biased, but I would say it's easily in, like, my top 5 Tetris games. Maybe top 1.
It's just what if Tetris was also a really good music visualizer? And, like, what if that?
What if that? You could just do that if you want. And then Enhanced dared to do it, and here we are.
I've also heard that the VR stuff is really cool, but I have not gotten the chance to try that.
I have played it once. As it turns out, someone who went to my college had it in VR. So it was an interesting experience. I think I enjoyed it overall, even though VR is not really, like, my cup of tea.
Yeah, I just heard it's very, like, it is like the ultimate flow state sort of environment of, like, just being in the Tetris.
I hear people talk about that with Tetris Effect just in general. I mean, it was, like, designed for that, so it makes sense.
This is, like, one of the few games where I have songs from it on my, like, playlists.
I have listened to the soundtrack just in background music on my streams, like, more times than I can count, just because the producers of it won't, like, copyright claim you or anything. And it sounds really good. Like, I know I'm skipping through a lot of the music because you don't get to hear much of it when, you know, I'm not spending more than 40 seconds on a stage, but it's really cool.
Now, the next question is, can you do all the spins and all the drops to the beat? Don't do that. That sounds slow. I think I can. At least in the downtown jazz level, where the beat is sort of just based on your drop. Like, you could just do that because it would sound bad, but it really does sound like it is just your drop. We have a question from the chat if you're so interested.
Sure.
What is the #1 tip you could recommend for players from the competitive classic Tetris scene?
Competitive classic?
Yes.
I guess my tip would be learn rolling, which is this technique where you drum your fingers on the back of an NES controller with the thumb lightly pressed on the D-pad, and it just lets you button mash, like, really, really hard. But, I don't know, aside from that, like, there's all sorts of resources out there on how to stack better, just, like, making better decisions, which I think is the heart of Tetris. And I think just getting competitive experience is good. Like, the monthly tournaments are fantastic for that. Classic Tetris Monthly is the group running those. I don't know. I feel like I'd never have a lot to offer in terms of Tetris tips that aren't just play more. Like,
That makes sense.
it's hard to communicate what goes into making all of my decisions in a game of Tetris. Like, a lot of it is just learned intuition over years. And a lot of it is pressing the wrong buttons, as seen on this stage.
That's my Tetris strategy.
You know, if you press the
to
wrong
choke
buttons,
tremendously.
you never have to learn how to press the right buttons. And that's a real time save.
I forget, in Journey mode, does it ever reset your board?
So the first time you play it, it will reset between each set of stages. The stages are like split into 7
That's
sets.
right, okay.
And I accidentally forgot to bring a save file the very first time I speedrun this live. So I don't remember if I actually ended up going over estimate, but it definitely cost some time.
But this time we're prepared, right?
This time we're prepared.
Okay, cool.
I think we're in the second set of stages by now. And
That seems
no
right.
board resets.
I do not remember. I don't remember I remember like the stages, but I don't remember the order of them at all. But also
kind of remember their order, but not really.
Fair.
I'm too in the zone, metaphorically speaking, not to be confused with the actual zone mechanic.
All of you at home are like getting to live the best life. Over here, I don't have game audio right now, so I am truly suffering. I'm like, I just want to hear the song so bad. Live vicariously for me, chat. Music in this game is so good.
It is so good. I really love music.
What's your favorite song in the game? Or your favorite stage?
That's a tough choice. I think I have to go with the final stage, Metamorphosis.
That was really good.
I think a special shout out goes to one of the tracks that plays in the balloon stage. And that is the only stage in the game which has multiple tracks, and it picks what song plays depending on the time of day. I don't remember what time of day gets you the song, but it's like, we embark on the ride to find out who we are.
Where we are. Yes.
It's good. It's a good song. It's got lyrics. You can hear them really clearly. Like, what's not to love?
That's one of the ones I have on my playlist. I like the dolphin one a lot as well.
One. Oh, yeah. Oh.
I like this one, if I remember correctly.
This one, I think, is pretty chill background music.
Yeah. The visuals for this I like a lot.
Yeah.
Which I imagine when you're playing at this rate, maybe you don't get as much of the visuals as you would.
You know,
if
it's
you're
not
playing
really
at
the most important thing on my mind.
That's fair. The speedrunners, they just don't take time to appreciate it.
Oh,
God.
These darn speedrunners these days.
The dolphin stage is really bright. That is a good point. It is absolutely like, if you ever play the dolphin stage at night, then that's like a whole. You don't need lighting in your house anymore. You've solved it through the dolphin stage.
You've
I
heard
believe
of
it's this one.
A perfectly white screen. Now get ready for the dolphin stage.
Exactly.
I have once seen dolphins swim in front of my stack.
I did not know they could do that.
Awkward. Oh, they're doing it now.
Oh. 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 All right, well, we've twice seen that.
You know, yeah. Surprise. I mean, it's fine. You know, it's not like you need to, see the stack or anything. Just to play Tetris? No.
So I know in the producer box, I can press a button to make the timer say that's never happened before. But I don't think we have one for this has happened once before, and we haven't seen it since, but it happened again.
Yeah. I don't know how the dolphins can get in front of the stack like that. Like, I know it's actually got this whole 3D space, like, internally. Like, if you look at the blocks at the edge of the field, you can sort of see the outline of, like, the side of them, because they're cubes rather than squares.
Yeah. I just realized that you're also playing not with the stage-specific block graphics.
Oh, that's true.
Which seems fair.
Yeah, I mean, I do like to be able to recognize the pieces by their colors. But I think the stage-specific blocks are really pretty. I think I ended up playing with them the first time I ran this. Just like...
That seems like the way to do it, is like do it once and then maybe go back to the classic.
Yeah. I don't know, you've got to see them all, right? But I think it's ever so slightly less good for my speed.
I have trouble, visualizing, but there are, a lot of the stages, all the blocks are, the exact same. And so I have trouble visualizing, the actual, shape, for some reason, of, the playing field. I don't know how to explain it.
Okay, this makes sense to me.
Yeah. I think it's just because, all the blocks, it's very delineated between everything. Whereas when it becomes maybe a little bit more muddy, it becomes just a blob.
Muddy
Chad
blob.
is amazed, by the way, at your ability to continue to hold a conversation with me while doing this.
Thank you. It's something people talk about a lot. And I've never really focused on training the skill. I'm just so stubborn. What am I gonna do? Not converse?
I mean, we could just sit here in blissful silence, I suppose, but I don't know if it'd be
the
best
fun in
content.
that?
Yeah, exactly.
So this is another area transition. I have really just been zoning out. No pun intended. I think this brings us to area 3 or 4 of 7. It's a shame that I only get to show off the zone mechanic that is unique to Tetris Effect and one of its biggest draws for me exactly once in journey mode. After the time stops. But that's why I've decided to showcase Zone Marathon, the new mode that was added something a couple weeks ago. I've lost track of time.
Yeah, that makes sense.
In true, Tetris in a marathon fashion, I've got something to run, but I'm also just kind of hopping around modes to showcase what's, most interesting.
Dude, I did come to you and I was like, hey, what do you got? Just give me stuff. Give me Tetris. Let's go.
I mean, I've got Tetris.
Perfect. It's all coming together.
I sure have Tetris. I've also got Effect. That's the other word in the title of hit video game Tetris Effect. Now available on a platform near you.
Multiple platforms now. I remember, it's one of the few games that I, went out and specifically bought on my PlayStation because it wasn't available on anything else.
Yeah, so they managed to score, a few exclusivity deals back to back. And now they're on, every platform. They're on the Switch, they're on the Xbox, they're on the Windows if you have Xbox Game Pass. You can play it on Epic or Steam or whatever you like. And I don't know how they did that.
Timed exclusivity, I guess.
I don't know.
But that means everybody has no excuse to not feel the effect.
Oh, it's true. Oh, this level's nice. I really like its graphics. And I don't really know why, like what specifically is appealing about it. I just think it's good. It has nice vibes.
No, I feel that. This game, like, watching you play this game is like low-key very like stressful is not the right word, but like frantic. But normally playing this game, I'm like, yeah. This is nice and chill.
It's nice and chill. I don't see the problem. I'm going oh so slowly to give you time to really appreciate the scenery.
Oh, yep. Yeah.
Yeah, so what a calm and measured pace this is. I mean, I'm cutting off all the music tracks halfway through, but I'm sure that's just like coincidence.
I just think it's important to not try to rush through things, you know?
Yeah, me too. That's why I've decided to slow down in this speedrun.
Yeah, stop and smell the music.
Yeah. I can't smell music, but I'm sure it would be interesting too. I've gotta figure out how to spend as much time as I can on the balloon level, just in case I'm at the right time of day for one of my favorite songs.
Somebody in chat said it was a different level, which I don't know. I don't remember what they said. There was something about how it was, or like a different level had 2 levels. I don't know.
Ooh. Have I gotten facts wrong about Tetris Effect?
I don't know.
I'm sure I haven't. It's the kids.
I can't find it now. I'm like struggling to find the comment. If you commented this, help. Oh, I think it's Stratosphere, not the balloon stage that changes tracks they stay. I found it.
Oh, are you calling me the balloon stage?
Stratosphere, the one after.
Yeah, I think they're right. I think I'm wrong. Stratosphere has 3 tracks, and then the balloon only has 1.
That sounds right, because I think one of the songs. I remember Stratosphere being like in the name of one of the songs or something. It sounds very familiar, and like looking up these albums on like Apple Music kind of way.
Okay.
But also, I don't know anything, so don't quote me on that.
I know basically nothing. I'm really just here to play the game and pretend to know things about it. I don't even know what a tetromino is. They just like invited me in one day and said, "You've played this before, right?"
How is that a B?
Oh, so it's based on scoring.
Oh, that's right. Okay, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, so it's trying to encourage you to get Tetrises and T-spins and use the zone mechanic, unique to Tetris Effect and really good for getting high scores. I'm doing approximately none of them. I have a T-spin. It was slower to do that, but it was fun.
Wait, Tetris Effect has its own unique mechanic?
Yes, it's called the zone, and you'll get to see it exactly once.
Oh, no, I do know about this. Yeah, because then everything, like, slows down, right?
Yeah, so you get to stop time, and all the line clears just accumulate at the bottom of the screen instead of, like, vanishing when you fill them up. And it lets you get a bunch of points, and you can clear many lines at once. The board is 20 tall, so naturally that means you can clear up to 23 lines. Because, you know how it is.
That's all. Yeah, that does. But yes, I can see how that could be really slow for speedrunning. Yeah.
So the other issue with it, like, technically it is faster to play in the zone.
Oh, really?
Because they removed the delay when the pieces spawn.
Oh.
Which is a pretty small way, but it lets you drop a few pieces fast. But the problem is, the lines you clear in the zone don't count toward the line counter for the level. So you're not actually making progress.
Well, that's lame.
But what you could do if you really tried is, I guess, start the zone 5 seconds at a time. Hope you don't pile up that many rows. And then, like, just stack up without clearing any lines, so you don't mess anything up. And
interesting.
And you'd get the delay removed, and you wouldn't have to deal with clearing lines and like wasting them. But the only issue is you're going to build up so many lines that it just doesn't like work out. Like you're just gonna end up charging the zone meter too much if you're playing at high enough speed. So it's just not a strategy anyone uses because it ends up slower unless you can do it like exactly once in the first level maybe. But I haven't seen anyone try it, and I don't know if it's just because it's too hard or if it does end up slower there too, or what the deal with that is.
It's kind of a bummer that like the strategy, like a strategy that does seem like it's like the unique thing of this game, other than like the fact that it bangs, just isn't really relevant.
Yeah, I wish the zone were relevant in the speedrun. I think it would be cool.
Yeah, it seems like it'd be neat to actually play to the game's like unique mechanics.
Right. I mean, don't get me wrong, regular old guideline Tetris is a hoot and a half. You get to have your silly little piece colors and put them wherever you want, and that's fine and all. But like, you're telling me I can't use the zone? I don't get to stop time because it's slower? What kind of a scam is that?
Disappointing.
Who developed the speedrun strats for this game, huh? So
I'm interested. Does the in-game timer align with RTA?
So it does not, because in transitions between levels, it's frozen. Like it's just not ticking at that point. And I believe on no versions anymore, but on the original PS4 release, like in 2018, the timer would also freeze in the zone.
Oh.
So if you go by in-game time, I think Dorami has actually bothered to do a whole run with this. You can do the whole run in a small amount of time.
That's funny.
By like abusing this zone mechanic.
Because does the community use IGT?
So I think we do use IGT now, like on speedrun.com, just because like it's so much easier, But for a while we didn't, because of this zone charge business.
Yeah,
I mean, it makes sense thematically for zone to freeze time. I can't say I'm really complaining about it, but it doesn't really feel legit.
It doesn't count. The time isn't real because you're in the zone. Like, and then the zone gets to be part of the run.
Yeah, I think if they had like a, here's the time that time wasn't frozen timer, I would definitely sit down and do like a whole run, cheesing it as much as I can with zone.
Like that would be like an interesting sort of like like a sort of like golf kind of thing of like how efficiently can you use the zone with frozen time.
It would be.
I might call that like.
That would be cool.
It's like it is still a speed run, but it's just a different kind of thing.
It's different timing rules, and that's fine.
Exactly.
I do wonder if at the highest level you could manage to get the game done in like an indefinitely small amount of time.
Like sub-second?
Well, maybe, because like every time you come out of the zone, you just need to have 7 lines ready to clear. Oh, here's the song. I'm gonna stack up so high just to stay on this level for longer. And if it kills me, so be it.
We're just gonna sit here and vibe.
Huh?
Well, everyone else is gonna vibe to the music. I can't hear it.
Yeah. Well, that sucks for you. But, I mean, it sounds great from over here. You're really missing out.
I know. Ugh, I'm being taunted.
These aren't speedrunners, am I right? Also, I can't put the pieces anywhere correctly, so I'm afraid you're not going to see me finish the game. I'm actually just gonna top out here.
As a bit?
I think topping out here would be a silly little prank. You invite me onto the show, but I don't actually know how to play Tetris.
I feel like, regardless, like, I feel like you did set yourself up ahead of time to be like, hey, you know, if I fail, it's because we want to listen to the music. Like, you prepared, you give yourself plausible deniability. Also,
Sure.
you appear to have saved it.
I don't know what you mean.
Oh, man. All right, I'm stressed.
It's okay. Everything's fine around here. Oops. You know when everything's fine, and then oops. Normal things you say when things are all perfectly fine and ordinary.
I'm always saying oops when no mistakes happen.
Yeah.
My favorite thing to say.
Oh, boy. Oh, jeez.
Oh.
Oh, no. My computer is quaking in its boots.
Oh, is it having, like...
Yeah, it's happening in the game, too. I'm not sure that you're missing that many frames on stream.
Uh-oh. It's a cool challenge mode. It's where the game just doesn't run well.
So, you've heard of Invisible Tetris, where you can't see the board. Now get ready for Tetris, where you can see the board, but only every 10 seconds.
Okay. I love Tetris for PowerPoint.
Yeah, I want to see Microsoft PowerPoint Tetris. Someone should get on that.
There's a chance that exists. Because I bet it exists in Excel. I'm sure someone's made that.
Oh, Excel Tetris could exist. I feel like PowerPoint Tetris... Like, I know PowerPoint's Turing complete, but, like, I think its controls would be terrible. And
yeah, I don't think it'd be good.
It's got no source of randomness.
Yeah. Well, can you do any sort of macro stuff in PowerPoint? I don't know. Excel, you could definitely make Tetris in Excel.
Yeah, I feel like playing Tetris in Excel is a normal thing that people do.
Yeah.
It's really the classic American pastime after baseball.
Yes. I love the World Series of Excel Tetris.
Yeah, you've never seen that? It was on ESPN just last week.
I said I love it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess PowerPoint Tetris, you would have to, like, click through every frame.
Yeah. That sounds awful.
I don't know if it's gonna catch on. I hate to say it, everyone.
You think PowerPoint Tetris just won't be popular enough?
I don't know. Yeah, I feel like it might have a couple. I mean, I don't want to be a downer. I don't want to say that it couldn't happen, but I'm not optimistic.
I want to see PowerPoint Tetris take off. I mean, I guess I did. It was just earlier in Mermaid Code.
That's true. That's true. It's just, so this game has a lot of, like, audio-visual stuff, and that's just trying to increase the cinematic energy of the experience.
Yeah, it's just a different little audio-visual quirk. What's not to love about that? So I think we're through 5 areas, yes? All 6? all 6. Here we are in the final level, the 7th area.
Ooh.
So I really gotta go fast. I have no idea what my PB time is, but I will pretend it's close and that there is much tension here. You gotta have some good dramatic tension.
Which difficulty is this? I don't remember which one's on.
This is expert difficulty.
Expert.
And it's for experts, you see, because the pieces get so fast, they're spawning on the stack, like, instantly. And you just get a little bit of time to wiggle them around. I think after this, I should showcase Master Mode, which is that, but taken to the absolute extreme.
I like never understood how this game is playable at this speed, where everything just immediately hits the. I mean, okay, at this is a speed where it's like, okay, you can still move stuff on the way down. That makes sense to me. But when it's just like it hits the bottom like a frame, I don't. Yeah, this right here, I don't understand how this works.
Yeah, so you kind of have to stack in a different way for it. Just like. You have to know where you can get pieces to, because, you know, you can't get them everywhere. And, I don't know, it takes some trial and error, but I think it's not that bad to stack one.
Interesting.
And that's that!
Alright.
So now I get to show off the zone mechanic. My favorite part of the run, really. I should have prepared for this. Like, done, you know, any practice or something? I mean, I'm doing fine, I'm sure. Let's see. Yeah, that was not my finest move.
Because the zone works so differently, right? Because everything flips and stuff?
Works so differently. I'm not sure what you mean.
Because the lines you fill... Wait, no, it works the same. I'm being silly. Ignore me.
Okay. Cool. Carry on then. I'm really trying to go for a high line clear.
Perfectress.
Well, you know, a perfectress is all well and good, but, like, not as high as you can go.
I've noticed that time is frozen, and yet the timer continued to tick down. Curious.
Curious. If the timer is frozen, why is it moving? That was not so bad. Oh. It's okay. So maybe I'll get to demonstrate it in Zone Marathon, where all the other zones in the run will be.
Alright, so that is category number 1.
Yeah. Oh, the credits are fantastic. I'm not sure it makes sense to let them play out. They're pretty long, but I think the music is, like, really good for the credits.
Almost like all the music in this game slaps.
You know, you got me there. So,
not to be, not to throw a hot take out there, but...
Not to throw a hot take out there?
But the music in this game is good.
Oh, it is. I agree. Oh. So here's Zone Marathon, which I've played exactly once. I don't know why I did this instead of Master Mode. I just really wanted to do the zone again.
Alright.
You know, there's something about it. I just really enjoy it.
So, the way this works is it just get 150 but the zone mechanic is just part of it?
Yeah, so I'm not really doing this section of it as a speedrun, more just like a, you know, showcase of what's possible. But yeah,
it's the category is listed as showcase.
That's good, you know? this isn't really a speedrun. I'm just here for good fun. Oops. And not doing well at the video game, but that's okay. Everyone is allowed a little bit of not doing well at a video game as a dream.
I agree.
Yeah, it's just a 150-line marathon, which is this mode that's like included with, you know, every modern Tetris game. But there's the zone, and that makes it instantly 10 times cooler. You get to do things like this.
It looks like you press Control-I in Photoshop. How can you not like it?
Right?
Then you get a decahetris, which is a word that somebody wrote.
Yeah, it's one of the words that somebody ever wrote. It's kind of like 10 and 6, so it's 16. But like, I don't know why it's in that order, decahexatris, rather than like hexadecimal.
Yeah. And then why is the like prefix for 19 perfect?
You're so right. I mean, it is perfect if you think about it, except that they then named 20 the ultimatris. But I don't think
you can't really go above perfect. Right.
I don't think I really have any room to complain about the, you know, zone line naming convention. But they astound me.
I'm gonna...
a little silly.
Who do I need to speak to about this? I'm upset.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
You know, it could have worked, if not for the meddling kid. Zone Marathon's kind of fun. It's like Journey, except I don't have to go fast. I just get to press the silly little buttons.
Sometimes, yeah, you have to go points instead.
Yeah, I'm not really running it for score. I think there would be, you know, many more T-spins involved, etc. I'm not quite sure what the strategies are, because I know they're a little different in Zone Marathon. I'm not sure anyone's like really settled on an optimal strategy yet.
Now, can we see what was it? The ultimatris?
Yeah, ultimatris is even I forget how to say numbers. It is
23?
20 zone lines.
20.
Which is how high the board is. So I'm sure it is the largest number you can get. No further discussion at this time, thank you. It's gonna be kind of embarrassing if I don't get it though. Like, after, you know, hyping it up so much.
You're in a race against the line.
I really am. I should take my time. I should just take my time, do things carefully.
To be fair, I understand the impulse to not, because this is the GDQ hotfix.
I mean, yeah, I'm on the silly speedrun show. I've gotta do the speedrun. I mean, it's just a hazard to my environment, really.
Exactly. Like, it's not games done ultimate. It's so hard to say. I'm dropping that joke because I can't say the phrase.
It's not games done ultimatris. It's games done
exactly. Unless, I don't know if we can get that changed. Hear me out.
So, how about I don't clear any more lines, and instead I just do that? How does that sound?
Okay. Well, that's just games done perfectress then.
You know, it's a compromise between doing well and doing what I want. In that I don't do
That's self-care.
I really hope So, I've hit the line count, it seems. So, I have to get it now.
It is your last chance.
It is my last chance. I've got to really focus. Give it my all.
That's a good point. Chance says it is games done quick, not games done well. I feel that in my bones.
Oh no. Oh, my bones. Alright. So, don't worry about this. It's okay. It's a T-spin.
I'm not worrying. Oh.
I wanted to clear 21 lines. Like, I was the first person to ever do that. So it would say Curb Tris, because they just named it after me, and I thought that was really sweet of them.
Oh.
But alas, the zone marathon's over. I think it's time to play Master Mode, and then I think I'll go for Classic Score Attack next. I think this makes sense as an order of events. So Master Mode is like if you took all the speed of Journey Mode and then turned it up to 11, because you decided that the players should not be allowed to succeed. And I think this is a good decision because I love turning things in Tetris to 11. I think it's just the normal thing to do with a Tetris game.
Yep.
So, even from the start of the mode, the pieces are already spawning instantly on the stack, and you've just got the delay before the piece locks in place, and that's all the time you have to move it around. And it only gets faster from here. So,
yeah, it says M3, and I know that's Master 3. My brain definitely thought that was Mach 3 at first.
It could be. You know, I'm pretty sure it stands for Master Mode Level 3, but I mean, I'm no expert on the speed of sound. It could be Mach 3 for all I know. If you think about it, I only ever see these pieces in one spot, so how am I supposed to measure their speed?
Remember how earlier I was like, when the game gets to speeds like this, I don't understand how it even functions. And you were like, it's not that bad. I stand by what I said before.
You know, it's something that can be learned. And then once you've gotten the hang of keeping your stack clean at this speed, you have to deal with it getting faster, because it goes faster than M8. It goes all the way up to M30.
Oh my lord. The fact that you have your high score, like I'm looking at your high score right now and I'm like, how?
Yeah, I think, well, so my actual high score is probably in the much higher 1 million, if not 2 million, because I
stand by what I said.
I played the mode for scoring. But this 1.3, the strategy for that is you start the game, and then you just make it to M30. I mean, really, it's as simple as that.
Does it end at M30? Or does it continue infinitely at that point?
So, in the update a few months ago, there is now an endless mode, so it can continue infinitely. Okay. And I considered turning it on, and then I realized that that doesn't really make for a satisfying ending to this showcase. Like, if I guarantee that I'll die instead of just accidentally dying because M30 is really fast. So I decided to leave it up, and in that sense, this mode has been around since 2018 with minor changes. And by minor, I mean it was barely possible to complete initially. And now, you know, it's possible. I mean, there's at least a dozen, maybe even 24 people who have completed it. So, you know, practically a, you know, easy, approachable video game that's fun for the whole family.
I know it keeps getting faster, but my brain is already like, it's already so, it's like, what does faster even mean at this point?
So you get less lock delay, so there's no more time to wiggle the piece around.
Okay.
And I mean, we're already 2/3 of the way through.
Oh.
Yeah, that was a fun little cleanup there. Okay. I should really clean up my stats before it's too late.
Again, I think it is worth reiterating that this is not a pre-recorded video with a conversation that we're dubbing after the fact.
Ooh, but it could be. Who's to say, really?
I can confirm, as the host, that this is in fact live, and that Kirby is continuing to talk to me while doing this at Mach 24.
I mean, in theory, I should really stop talking to you and, focus on the game. But where's the fun in that?
That's fair.
Oops. Speaking of things that are going perfectly okay.
I mean, you have the advantage that I, for the most part, am like in. Oh wow! I'm like awestruck to the point where I'm like, I don't know if I could talk, and I'm not the one playing Tetris.
See, that's how I get the upper hand. Is you're not playing Tetris, and I am, and don't think too hard about how that's supposed to be an advantage.
You know what? I said that's true because you said it very convincingly, but now that I think about it, it doesn't really make sense. Oh.
No! I'm one line off!
No, really?
What a meeting with a die. Oh, my heart's pounding. I realized I was one line off, and I'm like, I just have to rotate this piece twice. But, I can only press buttons so fast. I can't rotate it twice before it locks. You get only 92 milliseconds. That's not enough time.
You want to run it back?
I may run it back, but I think I should at least get a game of classic score attack down. So this is a amazingly faithful recreation of NES Tetris. Many people have tried to recreate NES Tetris, and all of them screw it up in some way, and sometimes that way is really important. Usually it's in how the DAS handles. So you'll notice that if I hold the arrow key sideways, the piece will move repeatedly, which is great. It's like holding down a button on your keyboard. And then after a little bit of delay, you get to have, many of the same key pressed. Fantastic feature. But it's really finicky in this game. Tetris Effect managed to recreate that exactly. The only things they didn't recreate were obscure bugs that only happen because of weird hardware things with the NES or the very top row of the board.
Interesting. Yeah, this seems nice and relaxing now.
Yeah, it's really nice and relaxing. I think NES Tetris is actually pretty zen and a really good habit builder.
Sorry. Is NES Tetris the same as the arcade one?
No.
Or are they slightly different? They're different?
So, I will happily talk about differences between Tetris games at length. So, let's see. Tetris was made, from Russia with fun, etc., as it says on the Game Boy cartridge, in 1985. I can't wait to see if the new Tetris movie will claim that it was made in 1984. I think that would be really funny. Just because, they do claim that all the time. And I think it's just funny that they picked that year to do historical revisionism over.
That's what the book's about.
It's the book.
The book's about Tetris.
It's 1984 by George Orwell. I can't believe they would do this to us. And so, from there, we got the Japanese family of games in the arcade with Sega Tetris, which is Tetris by Sega, not to be confused with hit title Sega Tetris, which is also a Tetris game and also by Sega. And that's the one, everyone in Japan knows, as famous as Game Boy Tetris is here in the States.
Okay.
And yeah, I guess the States had, their Game Boy Tetris, their NES Tetris. Sega Tetris went and was more approachable in high speed. They had lock delay early on, and they had DAS that would let you move your pieces really fast, and it was more like Master Mode, which I just played, because Sega Tetris gave way to Tetris the Grandmaster, which inspired Master Mode, that isn't really the same as it. Over here we got...
on Switch now, right?
Huh?
TGM just come out on Switch?
The first of the TGM series is out on Switch, and I think it's really good. I think the NES Tetris version is not that good, like from a design perspective. Like, it got, a big following from the classic Tetris World Championships. But, like, I think it's just kind of bad. Like, you can't move your piece to the side very fast. The best strategy is just being really good at button mashing, and that kind of sucks. But I think because it has one preview and no hold box and no extra time to decide where to put your piece, it really forces you to stack cleanly in a way that many other Tetris games don't. And I have this same respect for Tetris the Grandmaster, but that one doesn't have the button mashing problem. So I'm a big Tetris the Grandmaster fan. But probably because of the classic Tetris World Championships, Tetris Effect was allowed to recreate it after 30 years. And so if you have Tetris Effect, you can play basically exactly NES Tetris. And I think that's really cool.
One that I think I played the most was like an arcade version, and the cabinet design had like the domes. You know what I mean?
Oh, right. That one's Atari Tetris.
Okay, that checks out. That really checks out. I haven't played a
lot of it. I forgot that one was pretty big too.
That was just the one that was in the arcade. That's
like if you're in an arcade in the US, that's probably it. I don't think it's really great or like part of a family of Tetris games or anything. Like, I don't know, it's fine. It's just kind of the odd one out as far as Tetris history goes.
It's just fun to play Tetris against people on an arcade cabinet.
Yeah, I like that it's got the high score list. I think arcade cabinets' high score lists hold a special spot in my heart, just for being like this almost social space. Though it is kind of silly for the very high level players, because as you approach 999,999, if you hit 1,000,000 points, it rolls over, and then you're at 0 points. Unlike NES Tetris, which stops you truly at 999,999, until you, 20 years later decide to modify the game so you can roll it over and do absurd things with the score counter.
It's about getting as close to that point as you can without going over.
Yeah.
You gotta break as close to the edge of the cliff as you can.
Which I think is just not that interesting. Like, it's cool as a sort of way to offer risk-reward, but like, I don't know. It's not fun to me if you miss it,
That's fair. It is not as rewarding as just playing the game in a more traditionally better way.
Right. Oh, and it also has the button mashing problem, except it's a stick.
Yes, that is true.
So it's a stick mashing problem, I guess. But it's fine. Like, it's Tetris.
Worse.
It's really approachable. It's got the whole easy to learn, hard to master thing down. Tetris is really good at that overall. Atari Tetris.
That was a
5 out of 10.
All right.
That
was a funny thing about when Tetris 99 came out, was just like people who downloaded it, who play a lot of like competitive games, just getting absolutely smoked by like people who just play Tetris.
Oh my gosh, yes. I was the one absolutely smoking people.
Yeah.
Well, one of many. I think I would lose against like Urea or Amamaya or like Dorami or Wumbo, but like I won more often than not in lobbies of 99 people. Just because I had a bunch of Tetris experience going in.
That is not surprising, I will say.
I've been at this for many years now. I'm glad that I'm halfway through the higher speeds. I think that's fun. I get to showcase, the cool colors. I'm not doing too badly for score. I kind of zoned out and just like looked at the game and my lines and my score and was like, oh, I'm doing fine. 703,000.
Would you say you were in the zone?
Oh my god. Oh, that's fantastic. You got me. I walked right into it, really.
I know. It's almost like they named it that for a reason.
Yeah. That they did. The Tetris Effect is actually
It's almost like
named...
the whole game is, exactly.
So prior to Tetris Effect, the Tetris Effect was when you were like playing a game a lot, and then you'd start like sort of visualizing yourself playing the game, like as you're, bored in a meeting or falling asleep or whatever.
I do that constantly.
I don't have it with Tetris anymore, unless I actively choose to visualize it. But I think I've picked it up with other games before.
I'm trying to remember what the last game that I had. Puzzle games in general, like the ones that obviously do it because there is like a rhythmic aspect to it, but yes, chat, it's not just you. This is a if you Google Tetris Effect and then you don't go to specifically the game, there will be an article about the Tetris Effect. It is a well-documented phenomenon.
Damn it. Oh man, I almost got to level 30, which is
so close.
Really absurd because I don't button mash. So it would have been so cool to show up. I don't think I've hit level 30 live before. And that's the end of the mode, unless you can button mash at incredibly high speeds. Look up Eric ICX or whomever you like in the Nintendo
Would you like to try running back
system scene.
Master?
Oh, sure.
To round it off.
Master a go. Just to round it off. Am I at an hour yet? No, I've got 4 minutes?
Yep.
Okay.
We're starting at M27. Okay.
Yeah, I best get this going.
Do you still have to clear 300 then at 27 entirely?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, I mean, the last, 30 or whatever are even faster. I just figured I didn't want to wait through those early levels.
Oh, you don't want to deal with the slow ones.
Yeah, the slow ones. You know how it is. The slow
ones
of Tetris Effect Master Mode.
Oh, we probably, in retrospect, Chad has a good point. Should have given you the chance to get the Curbetress.
Oh yeah. It would be cool to complete Master Mode, though.
Yes, I agree. It is, in all honesty, though, very funny to get to 299.
Yeah, I'm kind of happy with that. I do like funny moments, even if they don't. Oop! I've managed to spin that into the hole at incredible high speed, and then out.
you T-spin too hard.
Oh, man.
I guess it's not a T-spin, but...
it's an S-spin, but who's counting? I wasn't going to call you out on it.
I just think it's important to keep myself honest.
Yeah,
I don't want to mislead chat.
Oops. I really hope I don't top out on M27. I hadn't considered that I very well might do that.
I could talk more. That seems to help, right?
Oh yeah.
That's not distracting at all.
No, it really isn't though.
That's good.
I've had a lot of practice at holding conversations while playing Tetris.
Admittedly, puzzle games are one of them a thing where I feel like it is because there's nothing it is more of a flow state and less of a I mean, at this speed, it's all subconscious, right?
Yeah, I'm not thinking. I don't have much time to think about anything.
Yeah.
I can't believe I topped out. Why did I do this at M27 again?
I don't know.
I should have done it at, a reasonably slow speed.
Yeah, I was also surprised.
M24 or something. Well, I've got, a minute?
You got a minute. Get the curvatress.
All right, I'll go for that. That can be done within a minute. And then I forgot where the mode was.
Up? Was it?
I'll see if I can get it within a minute. And if not, that's okay. They're, hard to come by. No one thought you would be able to do them prior to the game's release.
So somebody in chat said the record is 34. How is that possible?
Right, okay. So in the multiplayer update, they added a mode called Connected, and you can do really wacky things in it. Like, it's got giant pieces, it's got garbage lines coming up from the bottom, it's got a 3v1 mode versus a boss with a zone. And so I should totally pause my explanation for a second. But
yeah, focus on this.
Yeah, I mean, for sure.
This seems less subconscious.
I got a 20.
That's close. That's
and I think that puts me over the 1 hour mark.
Yes.
All right, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, one more shot.
Oh, one more
shot.
Oh, geez.
One more shot.
I better make it count. Oh, yeah, you can cascade the lines down, so the strategy involves stalling a piece really high up in the air for shenanigans, getting a bunch of garbage lines, and then having them cascade as if, gravity actually worked.
Okay, that garbage lines make more sense, I think.
Yeah, it's tricky, but just doable. Alright, this isn't gonna work. But thank you for having me.
Of course, thank you for being here.
No problem.
And, I guess that's time.
That's time. The speed run's over. It's showcase percent.
Yeah, everyone knows that the normal end time for Tetris Effect Connected Showcase is when you get the last hexahetris.
Yeah, I mean, Tetris ends whenever you want it to end.
That's true.
And that's now.
Well, often for me, Tetris ends when it wants it to end, which is when I tap out. But do you have any shout-outs you'd like to do?
Shout-outs. I think the Tetris Effect Connected community is really great. I think, they're seriously one of my favorite and nicest communities. I've hung out with too many gamers, but the Tetris Effect community is not that, and I love them for it. The Discord server by the developers of the game, Enhance, is where you can find many of them. And I highly recommend you check it out. Purchase Tetris Effect yourself. Or, Tetris to Grandmaster on Switch or whatever. I'm not picky. I think that's all for me.
Well, that's not all for us, because we do have 2 more runs coming up after this. They're not Tetris, though. We're mixing it up a little bit. But before we even get to that, we do have a couple announcements. SGDQ 2023 is coming up May 28th through June 4th in Minneapolis, Minnesota. If you're interested in attending the event, registration is now open until May 3rd. Go to games.quick.com for more info. Your subs, Prime Gaming subs, gift subs, and bits shared on the GDQ Twitch channel help support Games Done Quick hotfix. Please consider subscribing if you enjoy the daily speedrun content. And if you enjoyed this content, don't go anywhere, because we're going to be right back in about 5 minutes with the first of our 2 unpacking runs. So, stay tuned. Welcome back to Tiny Treefort. I said the name of the show correctly. Welcome back to Tiny Treefort. It's a Frame Fatales themed mini-series where we go through some of the latest and greatest of our Game of the Month celebration games. Wait, we're not. Well, we are celebrating them, but they're just regular Game of the Month games. We're here with Holly. She's gonna be doing our first of 2 unpacking runs. How you doing?
Hello, doing pretty well. So yes, I will be doing unpacking the correct way. Although there's not sure how correct it would be. So I will get into it, and once I click these arrows, time will start in 3, 2, 1, start.
All right, so why do you explain this game for those people who haven't seen it?
So yeah, the game, as the name might suggest, is you unpacking boxes. That is the gameplay. There are specific areas that the game has marked as okay for various objects to be placed. So you might have noticed I placed the one book underneath my pillow. That is because it is my diary and can't go anywhere other than underneath my pillow. Otherwise, someone might find it. But
Is that actually a requirement?
It can't go on the bookcases. I haven't tried if you can hide it in one of the in the cabinet somewhere, but it can't go with the other books.
I do remember that. I feel like I just put it on a desk or something weird.
Maybe. I
did some. Sorry.
Oh, it was one of those things where it's it became easiest to just throw it under the pillow, so that's what I started doing and haven't looked back.
That makes sense. I made some let's say I made some choices while playing this game that the game was like, what are you doing?
But yeah, just like
a lot
that,
of times
we're
me being
done with the first chapter.
Sweet. Now we're in 2004. What came out in 2004? Just to give people some context into the time frame here.
Half-Life 2 came out in 2004, didn't it?
Yeah, I believe so. I believe World of Warcraft came out.
Yeah.
Puzzle Pirates, I believe, came out. No, Puzzle Pirates 2003. Never mind.
So yeah.
So that's your frame of reference here.
Yep.
I think Shrek 2 has come out a year ago.
Yeah,
No, 2004.
Okay. But yeah, so what we're doing in this as we're unpacking boxes is we're following this person kind of through their various stages of life. So previously we were in their childhood home, and now we're off in college.
If you haven't played this game, I highly recommend it. I believe it's on Game Pass. Don't quote me on that.
It was when I initially played it. So unless they took it off at some point.
I think it still is. And this game does an absolutely incredible job at storytelling through entirely environments.
Yeah.
People make the joke about the skeleton sitting on a toilet, environmental storytelling in Fallout, but this is actually environmental storytelling at its peak.
Yeah, they did. I was surprised at how much I was able to piece together just from what's in the various boxes. It's really cool to discover.
Yeah. The amount that you learn about these characters, spoilers, entirely through cardboard boxes is incredibly impressive.
Yeah.
All right, so when I played this game, I was the different travel memorabilia, like the little travel tchotchkes. You know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
I was like, oh, these would look great in the bathroom. Game doesn't like that. Fun fact.
Yeah, there was one in the last chapter. Oh, come on, fine. I'll hang up one t-shirt. That I'm like, we could decorate some other rooms, right? And it's like, no, all the travel chotskis go here. And it's like, oh, that's disappointing. Sometimes it is frustrating where it's like, that seems like a perfectly reasonable place to put something, and the game decides that it isn't.
Yes, to some extent, the game. I am like, I would like to play this in a way similar to The Sims, where I'm playing interior decorator, and the game's like, okay, fair, but not the point.
Yeah, I mean, there is the in the accessibility options, you can allow it to place anything anywhere.
Oh, that's fun.
So you can kind of do that a bit.
I also, another thing I never realized playing this game is that you could put the toothbrushes in a mug.
Oh, I actually didn't realize until like this past week that you can also put the toothpaste in the mug.
Really?
Yeah.
That's like, okay, so putting the toothpaste, the reason I didn't think about it is I was like, oh, like, it's not like I was thinking like a standalone toothbrush holder, right? I didn't see one, so I was like, okay, well, I guess you can't do that. But putting the toothpaste in there too was like outlandish. That doesn't work with the way that my brain thinks that.
Yeah, no, like
That's one of my favorite things about having this show on for different, like, or having this game on for different shows, is everybody's different like quirks about how they, what they think is valid for like where things go.
Oh yeah.
Because the game has its ideas, but I do not always agree.
Yeah, no, there are definitely some elements where I'm like, oh, I'm putting an eraser up there. You can put a ruler
I feel like
up
an eraser
there,
should
but
be
not the eraser.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense to me. All right, so next we are in 2007. So, all right, what happened around 2007?
Was that one? No, Fallout 3 was 2008, wasn't it?
That sounds right. We are 1 year, I believe, after the Wii came out.
Yeah.
2004, also the year the DS came out. So that's a little bit of more context for that one.
Yeah.
I don't remember anything about 2007 is what I'm realizing.
Is that when BioShock came out?
Maybe? That sounds vaguely right.
Orange Box wasn't until 2008, was it?
I think Orange... Oh, now I don't know. Mass Effect 1 was 2007, chat says. Okay.
Okay.
Great game.
Yeah.
Okay, BioShock was 2007, you're right. What movies came out in 2007?
Ooh, that I have no idea.
Was Finding Nemo 2004? Shrek the Third? B-movie! There we go. We found our...
Okay.
Also, Garfield Gets Real. The first Michael Bay Transformers movie. Ratatouille. So, top to bottom bangers is what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah. I'd watch any of those.
Yeah. Yeah, I think thinking back on it, kitchen and bathroom were the two parts where I probably had the most, like... I was like, let me put this where I think it belongs, especially kitchen.
Yeah. Well, I found the other day also like the toilet, trash can in the bathroom has to be like within a certain number of spots from the wall, or it won't allow it. And it's
That
like,
makes sense to me.
but it's like 3 spots, and it's like it's not going out any further than the toilet. That should be
Yeah,
allowed.
that's fair. I do agree with that. That should be okay. I love all the old computers in this too. The period appropriate computers.
Yep. Like all of the small details in this really make the game.
Oh yeah, I also didn't realize you could put things on the bulletin board. I just stacked all those postcards up and shoved them in a drawer.
Well, we'll get to that in a couple of levels. What you have to do with the one postcard.
Yeah. Not exactly a postcard, if I'm thinking of the same thing.
Well, no, I guess it's a picture.
Yes.
But yeah, like the fact that like so many of the books and games, like you could in movies, you can actually identify what they are. Like there's just enough art in there that like you can specifically identify this is this movie or this game.
Well, especially because that's a GameCube box.
Yeah,
I know what a GameCube box looks like. It looks like that. Oh, that's what 3DS games look like.
Yep. Although I saw something somewhere lamenting people that didn't recognize the GameCube. And it's
no,
like, I know.
My ancient bones.
Yeah.
I saw somebody call. I saw a picture that was calling like the GameCube retro, and I was like, "Oh man,
yeah."
It was only 22 years ago. What do you mean?
Oh, why did you have to say the number of years? I like it much more. It came out in this year, and then I'm just like, okay. That sounds appropriate and retro or whatever, but I don't need to feel as old.
It's a nice recent 22 years ago.
Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah, I do. These rooms I like doing because the level of like organization of just like putting stuff on shelves, I feel very very connected to that.
Yeah. I mean,
it's like, this goes here, that'll fit.
That's one of the things that I love playing this game is when I would tell people that when I first played it casually, so many people were like, unpacking is so horrible. Why would you willingly play a game about that? And it's like, oh no, it's chill and relaxing, and you get to organize. Yeah, I mean, it's like The Sims, but you don't have to like take care of your sim.
Well, it's also like I don't like doing a lot of things that I like doing in video games. Like it's very different. It's a very different experience.
That's
like,
true.
I don't dislike power washing, but I don't like power washing to the same extent I like doing power washing in Power Wash Simulator. So
yeah. But yeah, so we've moved out of our friend's house now, or like our friend group house, and we moved in with our boyfriend.
2010 movies, by the way. We have Shrek Forever After. Why is every year a Shrek year?
I mean, maybe that was formative for the dev. This is apparently like semi-auto. I think there's like some element we're taken from the dev's life. I think I heard somewhere.
We have How to Train Your Dragon. We have Despicable Me presents Minion Madness. What I've learned is that if you search for movies, a year movies on Google, you get a lot of TV shows, apparently. The Social Network was 2010. What about games? Mass Effect 2. It's also all Mass Effect years. Galaxy 2, Fallout New Vegas, StarCraft 2.
Oh, yeah.
Civ 5, pretty solid year.
Yeah.
DJ Hero 2, y'all remember that?
Wait, there was a second one?
Yeah.
Well, I had no idea.
Dragon Age Origins Awakening. Final Fantasy 14, the first version.
Yeah.
The rough one.
The one that it's been interesting seeing all this stuff for the 10-year anniversary of Final Fantasy 14, and it's just like, so we really are just pretending like the first one didn't happen.
I that's fair. I'll be honest. I'll give him that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, what I'm learning is that Mass Effect years and Shrek years are always the same. So okay, hold on. I have to check. What year did Mass Effect Andromeda come out?
2017?
17. Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
Franchise. I'm like so invested in this theory now. Okay, there was no 2017 Shrek because, wow, really? There was no Shrek release between Puss in Boots and Puss in Boots: The Last Wish?
What?
There was a TV show, but yeah, we're actually, it's been 13 years since a mainline Shrek film.
Man, they need to get on that.
I never realized that.
Yeah. And like, clearly there's been more Shrek films. But
well, there's the Puss in Boots films.
Yeah.
But that means that we're not gonna, that the Shrek theory is going to end here.
Yeah.
After this time jump.
We'll have to find
this relationship was so fraught in this game that it ended the Shrek franchise.
Man, now I have even more reason to dislike this boyfriend.
I know.
I was so sad when there was no place to put my diploma.
It's man.
Yeah.
But yeah, the spoiler alert, the big like storytelling thing for this part is that you saw that diploma that we put on the wall earlier. There is in fact one place to put the diploma, which you will see later, because you cannot most of his stuff you cannot move.
Yeah. I already put it under the bed.
Oh, you did? Okay, yeah, it goes.
Yep.
You have to put it under the bed.
Yep. Oh, wait, that goes there. So.
And when that diploma was hidden away, so was our favorite ogre.
Yep.
Another small thing this game does that I like is that as you move in with people, stuff starts getting a little mixed up.
Yeah.
I always thought that was cute.
Yeah, like, I liked as you got older, your boxes became more organized as to...
True, yeah.
Like, by room. But never too perfect.
No. Sometimes you realize you forgot to put something in somewhere and you gotta just toss it in there. Okay, 2012.
Back with our parents.
2012. I am really enjoying looking up what came out in these different years. 2012, Puss in Boots, the Three Diablos.
Okay.
It's I'm telling you.
This is kind of amazing.
Why? Okay, whenever I search up movies, it really likes to give me Nickelodeon sitcoms. It's like, hey, do you want to know about these iCarly episodes? And I'm like, maybe, but not really in the context of movies. Okay, the Lorax, Food Fight.
Okay. It makes me wonder about the rest of your Google search history.
Wreck-It Ralph.
Oh, nice.
Brave. Wreck-It Ralph and Brave for the same year? Is that true?
I can see that.
But they're both the same studio. Yeah, they are.
Oh wait, they're the same. Huh. I thought they were different
Right, 'cause they're
studios.
They're. Oh no, wait, no, it's Pixar and then Disney Anime. Ignore me.
Okay.
I'm foolish. Diablo 3 was 2012. Guild Wars 2. CS:GO. FTL.
Wow, that was a good
It's all
year.
games in there. The first Forza Horizon. Kingdom Hearts 3D. Dream Drop Distance. Chad, I know, I corrected myself. Stop. Leave me alone. Wait, Mass Effect 3 was 2012. Yeah, the Mass Effect theory remains alive too.
All right. So it wasn't
It all
until
makes
Andromeda.
sense.
So you
So-
could say that Andromeda just killed. But what's placed wrong? Oh, right. I keep forgetting the DS games can't go on your desk for some reason.
If that's true, then my desk is extremely invalid.
Yeah. They have
Alright,
to go up.
2013 is that so it, now like the years become a bit more close together, right?
Yeah.
2013 is BioShock Infinite, Saints Row 4, GTA 5, The Stanley Parable. Wow, The Stanley Parable was a while ago. Dota 2, Pokemon X and Y, Final Fantasy 14, A Realm Reborn. Now, is there a Shrek? If there is, I'm going to actually lose it. What are these? What? The Croods? That's the only movie that I've gotten so far that I recognize.
Wow. 2015. What?
Monsters U. Shrek the Musical.
When did Tron Legacy come out?
I don't
Was
know. It feels like before then. 2010.
Oh, 2010. Oh, wow.
Oh no, wait. Yeah, so the DVD release of Shrek the Musical was 2013. We're gonna count it. The Shrek Unpacking Cinematic Universe remains legitimate.
Yeah.
Before this, I did not know that this was a thing, and I'm so invested in it now.
Have to like start writing up a journal article about this.
Yeah, I'm ready for like
see where we can get it published.
this is how many. It's the next big YouTube video.
Yeah.
Can you beat Unpacking without a single Shrek 3 or Shrek movie year? No. I guess the first year's 2000, right?
I think so.
That is that is not a Shrek year.
No,
because the first Shrek,
is it 2003?
Is it?
Maybe I don't remember.
That one doesn't count.
Yeah.
That's what I'm declaring because I don't remember, so it doesn't count. That's the rule.
All right, I can go with that. I mean, it means that I don't have to like quit this run to go and check.
Perfect.
I also like that this random apartment we moved into has a ridiculously sized bathroom.
Yeah, it really does. It's a nice apartment.
It is, yeah. It's just like
97 was the first one.
Okay.
There was no Shrek in that year, as that is not even the book. The Shrek book I think is 91.
Oh wow.
I like the addition of the compression glove here, which is just realistic.
Oh yeah.
I also hate stacking all those candles.
Yep. Come on. Why do you have so many hangers? You never put anything on them. I also like that I just completely ignore the shoe rack here.
Yeah, I think I put a bunch of I think I used the shoe rack more as a shelf when I played. Just because, I mean, you can put shoes anywhere, right? But a lot of stuff can't go. A lot of stuff can't go on the ground, but shoes can.
Yeah.
So that way, you're kind of encouraged to not use the shoe rack as a shoe rack.
True. I just love throwing all the shoes under the bed, completely unmatched pairs. Be like, when I want to go out somewhere and want specific shoes, I'll dig them out then.
It's like doing the Dark Star run, but it's actually allowed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it also is realistic that as you accumulate more stuff, it sure does take longer to unpack it all.
Yeah. Yeah, looking at the splits, it's just like, oh, wow, these years went by really quickly. Oh, the last one's 20-minute long.
Yep, that tracks. Now, the thing that is not realistic about unpacking is that you don't just have one box that you're just I don't need to unpack that you just shove in a closet somewhere.
That's true. That would have been a real nice touch.
That would have been really funny. We just take out a Tupperware full of...
Yeah. Oh, they don't make you fit Tupperware into a drawer. I appreciate that they didn't.
That would be rough.
Yeah, yeah. I also like how we're just sticking all of these things into this brick wall and only a couple of things into the drywall.
Well, I mean, you could command hooks, I guess.
Yeah, they're small. They're not going to fall down.
It won't have as much of an effect on the paint too, I guess.
Yeah. But I mean, do you really think we're that concerned about our security deposit in this place?
Probably not. So the whole kitchen.
Yeah. This kitchen takes a while.
It always does.
And it's also, the kitchen ends up being kind of annoying. Spoiler for the next part. We're still in the same place. So we kind of have to add stuff around what we place here. Which is a neat thing. to mess around with. It's just like, oh, I have to actually pay more attention to some things now.
The layout of the kitchen also is very much like built around just throwing stuff on those shelves.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of drawer space.
No. Especially if you take it up with spices and other random things that
Yeah.
you probably wouldn't actually put in drawers, but the game allows it, so why not? So actually, the first time I played this, I did not realize those were mugs. I thought they were like measuring cups of some kind.
Wait.
The striped mugs.
Oh, yeah.
And like
I could see it.
I put them in a drawer, and the game was like, "No, you can't put these here." And I'm like, "Okay, I guess I'll put them on a shelf." And then a later playthrough, I'm like, "Oh, that's why it wasn't allowed. I didn't recognize what those were."
See, at first I thought they were mugs, but I didn't realize they had handles, and so I was like, "Oh, are these like just like the mugs that don't? You know, the mugs that don't have handles? They're just like a cylinder."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because I didn't see the handles either, and that's why I thought they were like measuring cups or something. Because it's just like, what is this cylinder without a handle that is striped?
All right, here's a question.
Yeah.
Would you put that microwave in a box, or would you just carry it separately?
Carry it separately.
Same. I feel like it's like that's like the whole box. Or like, okay, that's people who know me, that's not true. What I would actually do is that I would still have the original box and I would put it in that box.
I used to totally do that. Then I moved into an apartment that doesn't have a lot of excess storage space. So that was one of the things I had to cut down on.
I can't do it. I just have a closet full of boxes. All right, so 2015, 2015 is the opening date of DreamWorks Tours Shrek's Adventure.
God. Oh, have we also looked for Shrek video games?
So Shrek video games, there were none released after 2011.
Oh.
With the release of Fruit Ninja Puss in Boots.
Wow. They're really sleeping on that franchise.
And Puss in Boots for the Kinect.
Okay, I kind of want to look up what that game is.
Or at least it might not be Kinect only. I might just have requires Kinect.
Wow.
I do have a Kinect. Maybe I should get Puss in Boots for the Kinect.
I think you found your next game.
Chad says the Amblimation version of Shrek ended production in 1997 before being moved to DreamWorks the following year and being completely rewritten. Yes, we'll count that.
Okay.
Unfortunately, again, like there's not really a lot coming like after 2015 is like so recent too that it's like even though I can't remember what happened that year.
Yeah. It's like the years just kind of start blurring all together.
Exactly. We got Fallout 4. Fallout 4 was 2015?
No,
that is true. I played it in college.
Oh God.
Man. Metal Gear Solid 5, the first Super Mario Maker, Undertale.
What? Nope. Not allowed.
Yeah. Splatoon 1. Xenoblade Chronicles X. Final Fantasy 14 Heavensward. All right, we've moved. All right, here's the thing. We've moved from the the Shrek timeline to the Final Fantasy expansion timeline.
I was going to say, like, that might be a nice marker for these last few years.
And 2015 films includes Pixels,
oh yeah, that was a movie that existed.
Star Wars: The Force Awakens, Paul Blart Mall Cop 2. There has to be. Why is this what it's giving me? I don't understand. Minions. The first Minions movie.
Okay.
The first, like, Minions-specific movie
Yeah.
was that year. So in some universe, there, instead of, like, this character just has a bunch of minions, like Funko Pops that you're unpacking. Oh, yeah, also, this is the part where we're unpacking their partner.
Yes. Instead of us moving in with someone, we have someone moving in with us.
And that's why their boxes look different. She has fancy boxes.
Yeah.
That's what I felt. I was like, really? You're not, like, not just standard cardboard brown? Okay.
Yeah. Like, she might have actually hired a moving company. Because we sure didn't do that.
Oh, yeah, no. But also, like, it has the, like, that has the like the energy of, like, hired a moving company and did, like, and they pack stuff but didn't unpack stuff.
True.
Which I don't know how that works.
I mean, I'm just glad we don't have a packing game. I mean, I guess that's what Tetris is, but doesn't quite have the same stress.
Oh, wait. Rue says they're international moving boxes?
Oh.
I did not know. I didn't think about that.
Yeah. Oh, come on. You're being...
International cardboard boxes. Is that going to give me anything? That didn't give me a lot.
All right, 2018. What we got for 2018?
Oh, 2018? I don't know if we're going to get any... Well... Was 2018... 2018 might be where everything falls apart. That was Return to the Obra Dinn, Octopath Traveler, Destiny 2 Forsaken, Tetris Effect, which we just saw.
Oh. Nice tie-in.
Sea of Thieves. Monster Hunter World. Does not look like there's a Final Fantasy expansion. I think that would have been 2017 is when Shadowbringers came out. No, Shadowbringers is 2019. I lied. 2018 was the final season of Adventures of Puss in Boots. We'll take it.
I now kind of just wonder if there's a Shrek-related thing or Puss in Boots-related thing every single year.
I don't know. I don't know. Just looking up 2018 movies, it is not Ready Player One.
Oh.
The movie. That was 5 years ago? Dang. It's really not giving me a lot here. I gotta say. Like, maybe it was a week or a year. I don't know.
Yeah.
50 Shades Freed. Is that anything?
Oh, God.
Oh, Crazy Rich Asians was 2018.
Okay. Good.
And Black Panther was 2018 as well. Oh, and Spider-Verse.
Oh, awesome.
Okay. All right, Google.
Why did it take Google so long to list those?
Google didn't give me that. I had to go to IMDb.
Oh wow. So what I've learned from this is don't ask Google for when movies came out.
Apparently, yeah. So this is the last stage, right?
Yep. We moved into a new house with our partner. That's enough.
And now we have so much stuff.
Yeah. But I mean, like, this apartment's pretty nice. Has in-unit laundry. Or I guess actually, no, this isn't an apartment anymore. It's it's a full-on house that we have.
Yeah. I want the part of this, like the unpacking level where it's like post-watching the Marie Kondo show, and it just takes like 2 seconds. You have like one box.
Yeah. It's like, could you really not have switched to streaming services by 2018? You have an awful lot of DVDs and like Blu-rays and stuff still. Oh, come on, there we go. As I do the same thing with the next one.
I like that. I love the definitely not a 3DS.
Yeah.
I definitely don't own that 3DS. Okay, this is a level where there's a lot of stuff where I was like, I didn't realize what it was.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, I don't know where I'm supposed to put this.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Like, at no point did I think that that I was like, oh yeah, the cane can go in like a basket.
Oh, I think I picked that because I think in when you first unpack the basket, there's a cane and a umbrella that goes in it. So I think that's where I thought to put the cane there, but
I believe I put it on the bed. If that might not be allowed. I don't remember. Well, that made sense to me.
Yeah.
I will say it is a better spot than directly in front of the door as a trip hazard.
Fine, I'll put it where it belongs. I mean, I knew I'd have to come back to that room anyway, so... Oh. Just while we're unpacking things. Actually, I don't know if these can go there. We'll see if that one's allowed. Also, so many magnets.
So many magnets, yeah. I'm jealous because my fridge, I have a bajillion magnets. My fridge isn't magnetized.
Oh no! That's so sad.
So they're just in a box. I couldn't unpacking them.
That is like one of the saddest stories ever.
Thank you. That'll be, people will look back at like what happened in 2023 and they'll be like, in Unpacking 2, and they'll be like, what are our like cultural touchstones? Like, well, May told that really sad story about magnets and it won an Oscar.
I love how we also have so many just loose cookie cutters.
Yeah, I mean,
like,
that is kind of how cookie cutters go though, right?
I just like throw them all in a bin. Like I have a little actually a pencil case that I just throw all of them in.
Yeah, I definitely follow the unpacking school of thought, and I throw them all in a drawer.
Okay. I mean, that's the other thing is like I like, even though I'm rushing through this, there's still like, I know some people who are much more this style of, because it's also just like, let me put everything out there and then like I'll arrange it later or whatever. Like, that's how I ended up, and then you never get around to it. That's how I ended up having plates and bowls and such in my pantry instead of like kitchen shelves for 2 years.
Yeah. No, I feel that. And that's why that's what I was saying before, where it's like there should just be one box that you never unpack.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I can deal with that later, and then you never do, and then you move 4 times.
The same box.
The same box, yeah, and then at some point you go, oh, I should go through that, and you go, oh man, I remember all this stuff. I should keep this, and at least that's what I do.
Oh yeah.
And now at home you might be going, May, that sounds like you should get rid of it, and I don't want to hear it.
I mean, there's also not like, well, I guess we're only getting snippets of the years. I'm like, we haven't gotten to, oh, you brought all of the random boxes from your parents' place and now need to go through and decide what of your old schoolwork to keep or throw away.
Yeah. God, that'd be rough. That would be unpacking.
Yeah.
Which, if they made a sequel and it was just called Packing, and it was the opposite, that would be very funny.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be a very good, like, April Fool's, like, game jam game.
Yeah. Ooh, like that idea. I never have any idea what to do with those whales or this fish.
Give it a chair. Yeah. At
Probably
no
won't
point
be
will
allowed, but
yeah, at no point will that come. Will we have to deal with that? There will be no reckoning.
yeah.
Yeah, if you're looking for something to do for your next game jam game, that idea is free. Packing.
Yep.
It's all about just putting stuff in boxes, and the hard part is deciding is you have to fit everything and decide what you don't actually need because there's a limited amount. It's like inventory management in like an ARPG.
Yeah.
Or Resident Evil 4. That's packing.
Yep.
Actually, I think I've done this in a Nancy Drew game before.
Inventory management, the game.
Yeah, like essentially.
And you know, if you really want to, you can spend extra money to get an extra inventory slot.
Is that just another box?
Yep. That allows you to keep more stuff, but also means that it takes you longer to get everything put into boxes.
Yeah, well, I feel like the problem with getting another box too is that like you have if you don't properly fill that box, right? Depending on what's in it.
That's true. Do we have to pack well?
Okay.
Like,
you know the Cooking Mama game where like one of the Cooking Mama mini games where you're like folding up like dumplings or whatever, and it's like fold to the left, fold to the right, top and bottom. That's how you wrap your dishes in newspaper.
Yeah.
The game's all coming together. Also, she has so many copies of the children's book. I'm happy for her, but it's a lot.
Well,
those could stay in a box.
Well, but this way, if she like has a friend over, that she can just be like, hey, have a signed copy of my book.
But I'm saying those you could just leave. You could take one of the nicer boxes.
But
And
where
just
would you
line
put
them
the
all up.
box? Just put the box on the shelf?
There has to be a closet in this house.
There's only the one.
Oh, one other thing I never realized that stand is for the ukulele.
Oh.
I just had a stand with nothing on it, and then I put the ukulele on a shelf.
Fair. God, I hate placing this. It's so big. And it's like near the bottom of one of the boxes.
Yep. It's also completely unusable in that orientation, which is funny.
Oh, yeah. Actually, the VCR, if you have it rotated, won't accept it.
That makes
found
sense.
out.
I also wouldn't accept it.
But, like, no, it almost never cares about orientation for anything else. But for the VCR, it does. We'll get back to that room.
Yeah,
I like doing that room last.
I forgot how many rooms are in this house.
Yeah. I think this closet might be my least favorite thing to unpack.
It's a lot.
There's so much, and like tracking like when to put hangers on top or bottom, just because like to do it quickly.
Yeah. Clothes were definitely my least favorite part of this game.
I mean, for the most part, clothes you could just fold up into drawer. Like a lot of times the drawers were large enough that you could just kind of always throw them in there.
Some of clothes too is doing socks in this game is worse than socks in real life.
God, yes.
Because socks in real life, you grab a handful of them and you just toss them in a drawer.
Yes. That is something where I'm definitely like, I do not necessarily pair my socks before. Yeah, like I go through and grab a pair when I'm getting dressed. Like,
and even if you were pairing your socks, no one's sock drawer has ever been as meticulous as theirs.
No.
Also, yes, this is true. You could store the book box underneath the clothes in the corner.
It's true. Well, but what if you ended up putting too long of clothing in that corner?
Or what you could have two of them on your shelf, and if you give one to someone, you can go grab another one.
I mean, that would be the thing to do.
Yeah.
At least you don't have to unpack a basement.
No, yeah, that'd be rough. Unpacking, but you have like an entire crawl space.
Oh, God. And you can't bring the box into the crawl space. You have to like exit it, get the item, go into the crawl space, drop it off.
Well, you can, but like it doesn't quite fit in the hole into it.
Oh.
And so you have to like rotate it and stuff.
Yeah. I also love that in this method, like you and your partner's like underwear is just in drawers together, like whatever. Like everything's so meticulously organized, except
but also
like,
not. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like yes. Also, it's like, well, all the socks are in here, but also there's also like one shirt.
Yeah. Like all the socks are in here, but we don't know whose socks.
Closets, just unpacking closets, not my fave.
No.
I think you should be able to put the printer in here in case you need some midnight printouts, you know? This classic situation we all find ourselves in all the time.
Yeah. I also just one of the things that I love going through this is how you keep collecting the little baby chicks.
Yeah.
And I love that you could just put them all on your bed.
I would get those in real life.
I mean, it would be adorable. Like, I think you end up with 9 baby chicks on the bed at the end here. And it's just like... I just feel like that would use up way too much of the bed. Like, I'm all for it, but, like, I'm not sure where I would sleep. I'd just, like, roll over and I'd be suddenly laying on one of them. I think that will be allowed. Right, you don't like that.
Lava
anyway.
floor where you could put anything on the floor. That'd be fun.
Yeah. I think that should work.
Just it's just the category where the way you unpack, you just dumped everything onto the ground and walked away.
All right. And now for my favorite room is the nursery. Which I also love that, like, they let you put way too much stuff in the crib. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, the general pediatric advice is not to put, like, there's these many things in the crib with the baby.
Well, it's because it's not actually a baby. It's for the 2 plushes.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do we ever see the baby? Exactly.
Well, we do in a picture at the end.
Oh, that's true. That's a good point. Yeah, it doesn't... It seems like you maybe should not... That should maybe not be... It doesn't seem great. I would agree.
Nope, another plush.
All right, Rue, here's the category for you. It's the category of, like, cleaning up when your parents tell you have to, but you really don't want to. And the entire thing is you just have to unpack everything into the one closet.
That would be great. Come on.
And I believe we are getting close to time. Is that right?
Yes. When I finish with this room, if I did not make any mistakes elsewhere, that will be time. And of course, I have mistakes somewhere.
What? Is it the fish on the chair?
Yes.
Yeah!
There we go. Time.
All right.
So, yeah, that was unpacking. Done. Yeah, we'll do the organizing another day.
I mean, it's important to get to that first step, right? That's important.
Yeah.
I mean, got all the boxes out of the way. It's livable now to some extent.
Mm-hmm. Well, you also have to, like, get the feel of, like, how you actually use the space.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I agree with that.
Not trying to go in without any assumptions.
Exactly. Thank you so much for showing us how to unpack.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Do you have any shout-outs you'd like to do?
Just want to shout out the Frame Fatales community for, like, encouraging me to, like, actually get into speedrunning. And, like, this was the first game that, like, I actually tried to learn and, like, submitted to the leaderboards for and everything. And yeah, thank you for having me on here tonight. Yeah, that's it.
Thanks for being here. And if you liked all this unpacking goodness, do not leave, because we have the opposite of this run coming up right after this. But first, we're going to take a short break, and we're also going to do, let me tell you about a couple happenings and goings-on. If you're watching on YouTube, be sure to press the like button on this video and subscribe to the channel. Also, go to twitch.tv/gamesdonequick if you're interested in looking at our live content, starting weekends at 7 p.m. Eastern and weekends at 1 p.m. Eastern. Also, the SGDQ 2023 games list will be released April 4th. That's really soon. Tweet at GamesDoneQuick and let us know what you're hoping to see on the games list. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with Unpacking Darkstar with Fight Cutie Roo. Hey, welcome back. It's Tiny Treefort. It's our Frame Fatales mini-series where we celebrate the community as well as show off a bunch of the games of the month that we've done in the past. If you're not familiar with that, every month, I think it's every other month now, technically. We've changed it a bit. We get someone to show off one of their favorite speed games and help coach the people through it. So if you are a woman who is interested in doing that, you can join the Frame Fatales community and get involved in Frame Fatales Game of the Month by either going to the Frame Fatales Twitter at twitter.com/FrameFatales, sending a DM, or by emailing framefatales@gamesdonequick.com. If that interests you. Also, Rue's here. Hi, Rue.
Hi. Hello, everybody. I'm Rue. I'm Cutie Rue, but I also go by Rue. Hi, May. Thank you for having me.
I got like really deep into that sort of like feel, and then I was like, I should probably acknowledge that you're here and let you talk too.
Yeah. Well, no, it's just nice to just chill. I just am ready to unpack to showcase the Darkstar category. It's going to be the Unpacking Andromeda series. And I didn't say that, but that's okay. But yeah, so this is Unpacking. I'm looking forward to it. And just let me know whenever we are ready to go.
You can start whenever you like.
Awesome. Okay, so I am going to name this Tiny Tree Fort. There we go.
Oh, it fits. I was ready for it to be Tiny Tree.
I was too, to be honest with you. Okay, so the timer will start the moment I open up a box. So basically, we kind of see, this whole unpacking world, right? Well, we are going to do it this way. Okay, so on the count of 3, 2, 1, go. So with this category, what we saw earlier, it was like the any percent, and it was just like the normal star. The normal star is indicating that you're going to have like a gold little star pop up on the bottom right-hand corner of the side saying, oh, hey, you are, done with this level. You did a great job. You unpacked it the way that we like you to. Well, this category in particular is called Darkstar. With Darkstar, it's exactly what you kind of think it is. It's exactly the whole like, oh, we're just going to unpack everything to the way that the game doesn't want you to unpack. So in other words, we're going to keep on putting things in places that it shouldn't be allowed. We're just going to sit here and keep on like, oh no, we just don't want it right there. See, Darkstar. Yatta! So that was the first level. So basically the Darkstar category is my favorite.
Wait,
I do like the all achievements as well. Oh, go ahead.
Is the text, like the comments in the scrapbook, all different? I didn't realize that.
Yep.
That's funny.
Yep. It's in the, I thought that was interesting when they created the developers that they changed it around just so that like it kind of matched the Darkstar category, which I thought was interesting. I'm gonna put the shoes on the bed.
I feel like that's the hard part is the shoes.
Yeah, so what a fun fact, if you put the shoes like near the bed, it still allows it. So you're just kind of like, okay, let's just be safe and better and sorry instead, and just make sure that we're going to put it on the bed instead of just, on the ground near the bed. And then it's like, okay, well, I'm sitting here going like, why is it taking it, And so essentially we just want them on the bed because there's some items, to be honest with you, that are just kind of like, they go into these spaces where I would think that they're not supposed to be allowed, but yet for some reason the game on the Darkstar category thinks it's allowed, which I think is funny. So I'm just kind of trying to.
I do like
there we
that
go,
you
we
have
got
to
that.
move the hangers that were already there.
Yes, that is part. So that's what's different. As we saw earlier with Holly's run, we saw that like, oh, we're going to put things on the hanger. Well, in this category, we're just like, nah, we're going to move the hangers. But the game allows it to be there. So like if I were to leave those alone, then basically the game would be like, you know, so the objective would be is to get everything like showing a red outline on it. It helps to know like what is in the wrong spot, if that makes any sense.
That makes sense.
So it's just kind of the best way to do that. I honestly think this category is a ton of fun. It's actually a lot, like it's easy to learn. Any percent is pretty like good to learn too. It's a good starting point. Just so that you can kind of get the like feel and the vibes down of like how you feel with the mouse and the movement. But the Dark Star is a lot more fun in the sense of it's less about having to where to place things as much as it's just where to put things in the wrong place.
I think what Dark Star is that it's just a completely unlivable situation. You just got knives on the floor and like... Wait, is that shoe valid?
Yeah.
Did the shoe go there?
The shoe can go there. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's okay. Yeah.
It was on the floor,
mean,
so I thought maybe it's okay. Oh, okay.
It's when it's near the bed it's the problem. It's kind of funny, like the way that I think of Dark Star category is just what is not allowed in the allowed space. It's like the weirdest way to think of it. Like you could put that picture frame there. Here's like the GameCube. So like everything like that, you're just kind of doing that. But I don't want to put the blanket right there, right? Because the blanket's going to be like allowed, so to speak. And I think like I would showcase like what I mean, but I want to go fast, and it's probably going to happen anyways. So you'll see it. Trust me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we got a very good example of everything going where it was supposed to, fortunately, before this.
Yeah, that's true. I just know for me, this is like the one category that goes against my very nature.
Oh, same.
It like really bugs me that everything is not in the place that I would consider it to be good. like you were saying with the knives on the floor, and I'm like, yep, that bugs me.
There is stuff that I would be okay with being on the floor, right? If I look at my office behind me right now, there's some stuff on the floor. I'm not going to pretend there isn't. But, like, knives on the floor and, like, plates, I'm like, you can't use those now.
And then here's this one little Post-it note.
Oh.
You do have to take that.
I would not have caught that one.
Yeah, it's a weird one. So when I was learning the category, I was just like, what's wrong with this room? It's a little Post-it note on the board.
You don't have any indicator of what's right? It's not
no.
like, it's not like the red outline where it's like very obvious that, oh, okay.
That is correct.
I just need to know.
Yeah. It's just basically like the red outline is the indicator, and that's hard because if you have a whole bunch of things near each other on the floor and you can't see what's wrong, you're like, uh-oh. Okay, these shoes. You stay on the bed. I like you on the bed. Okay, so what would you like consider to be okay on the floor and not on the floor?
So like, it depends on the room, is a lot of it too, right? Like, if you
True.
just had, like, that tablet next to your desk, like, on the floor, that's fine, right? As long as you're careful about it. But also, like, I have a ton of, like, if I look behind me right now, on the floor behind me, there is a blanket, a plush, a bunch of boxes, a label maker, wires. Like, it's got the GDQ studio 4 days into an event energy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yes.
But then, like, if you were to put, like, if you just have, like, plates on the floor, or, like, if you put, like, that stack of books right there. Books on the floor is, like, rough. But, like, if you put, like, that stack of books against the shelf, that's not, like, extremely upsetting. In the middle of the floor is really bad. The picture frames on the floor is, illegal.
It's probably the room. I'm guessing the room. Let's see. What did you say? Yes. Oh, it's the hangers in the room.
Oh, yep.
I swear, these hangers are the bane of my existence.
I would have never thought of that. Are there more hangers on the other side?
No. This is kind of...
Yep, okay.
What's near the floor that's saying, yes, I'm allowed? See, this is what I mean by, like...
It's so hard to tell.
Red. It's
is it
so
not
hard
this room,
to tell.
maybe?
It could be... So the way that I do it is by looking for the non-flashy outline.
Is it the compression club?
No. It's not this right here. That will matter pretty soon, though. Everything here is red. I'm guessing it's the, what do you call it? It has to be this room. Because, this room, so, like, that's what I mean by, like, what's around here is important. It's a dumbbells.
The bag.
And the bag now. There you go.
There we go.
Thank you. Yeah, so see how the red is not... You just see flashing red and you're like, sure, Gabe. But then you're like, okay, you moved it 2 inches to the left and you're like, that's allowed? Really? Okay. So you're just like, okay, I disagree with you, Gabe, but I don't know. There's a lot of moments where I'm like, yeah, I agree with that one. But then I'm like, okay, the dumbbells being like very clear, like on the other side of the map.
The Dark Star version of this level is kind of funny because the only time where you maybe start to feel a little bad for him.
Yeah. That's true. That is true. So this one, it's like you literally... So what's different about this one compared to all the other categories is literally you are moving all of your quote-unquote boyfriend at the time, all of his stuff around, right? So... You're just literally like taking over, and it's just like, yep, yep.
I like the very like moving in with somebody and then really being like, all right, all your stuff, it's going on the floor. Oh wait, what? There's room for both of our stuff. No, my stuff's also going on the floor. Don't get it twisted.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Oh,
it really is like world's worst roommate simulator.
Yes, it is. Oh, yes, it is. Sorry, I'm laughing so much that okay, there you go. Yeah, so it's like the idea. The other thing too to like kind of remember with this is you wanna like you have to like put things on the couch. You have to put it in like weird spots, right? But at the same time, you got to start making room for like everything that you're trying to put in the places that you're putting. So like the best way to route this is like, other than open the boxes in a certain order, it's just making sure that when you're like making that room so that you're going to have that space. That's like the one thing that was like a learning curve with this category was the fact that I was like, okay, well, with unpacking the normal star, you didn't have to worry about, you know, like the space.
Like the boxes freeing up space is actually like so major.
It is. It really is. It's like nice to be like, okay, especially when you're on the last level, in the closet in that last level, it's like, yeah. And in fact, when I get to that level, I might have like not a flashing warning, but I move the things so fast and so much that basically like kind of, you know, it's just going fast and it could be like a lot on the eyes.
Are you still unable to hang up the diploma?
Yes. Anywhere. You can only hang it up. Yes. I'm just going to say yes. That's the best way to put that.
You can't move his pictures, right?
No, I
Yeah,
can't.
that makes sense. But hey, you know what? It's visible at least. We take those.
I say that's a win. That is for sure a win. Yeah, I was so sad about that when I was playing it the first time. I was just like, oh wait, really? And then even like learning the speedrun, you're just like, sorry, I'm moving these like little ties around. He has a lot of stuff. By the way, if you move in with someone, make sure they don't have a lot of stuff. Because then when you have to do the speed run for it, you have to put all that stuff away.
This is honestly, this is critical like relationship advice that people like. It's people don't tell you, you know, when you're getting into when you're moving into with someone for the first time. It's something you don't think about is the speed run.
Exactly. Exactly. I actually kind of like how so the all achievements, there's an achievement right here where if you put all the socks and the underoos together, you get an achievement. It's actually quite cute. Okay, so let me just get all these pants. All right, so this is where I need to pay attention because when I was doing my practice, a hidden hanger was preventing me from moving forward. So I was like, I'm gonna make sure for this round when I do the speed run, I'm not gonna get distracted by these hangers. But also so many hangers. Okay, so the hangers, as you could tell, they are very awkward on the hitbox.
Yeah.
It's not easy to, how do I put it? It's not easy to find the right spot, but also they are just so awkward. But the other thing too is if you put them near the bed in a certain way, they are allowed. If you put them in the closet, they are allowed. So you're like, well, I'm very limited on where I'm allowed to put these hangers.
I did not realize till just now that the bathroom mug is a chip mug.
Oh, you did it?
Yeah.
Aww.
That's cute.
Yeah, the chip mug comes with us. It's a lovely mug. That is your little toothpaste mug kind of thing.
I just didn't realize it was a broken mug that had been repurposed.
Yep. It's so cute. It's one of her favorite items that, she kept around since her childhood kind of thing. Honestly, okay, so what is your one favorite unpacking item that you find in this game that you're absolutely I must have that, or I think it's adorable? May?
The chickens are really good.
The chickens?
I like the chickens a lot, which is probably unsurprising, but...
Okay, let's get rid of this. We even take the picture of our, significant other down. We're such a great roommate.
I also really like all the circa 1997 to 2004 technology. That just...
Oh, yeah?
That some of it comes with you, some of it doesn't.
I thought they did a great job,
oh, for sure.
doing the storytelling with the items too. It's just you get so emotional.
It's very impressive. I was saying it in the last round. It's very impressive, but they managed to do with a game with no dialogue that is fully just environments.
Yes, I agree. Sorry, I'm a little focused because I'm I have to make sure that all this stuff of his gets out of this room.
This one's so funny because it's there is an explanation. You can describe the last one of yeah, I'm a disaster. I just threw everything on the floor. But this one took deliberate effort.
Yeah. I actually kind of like some of his stuff too, actually. I actually kind of like the, oh, where can I put you?
Some of it I like, some of it I feel is, I don't like the general decor, but I do think some of the stuff is all right.
Yeah. Okay, the ukulele.
Wait, is there that thing? Is that thing under the table a thing?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
I usually put it on the... Okay, hold up.
Darn, I was hoping that'd be it. The CD rack isn't anything, is it?
No, it stays there. I'm thinking it's...
Is there something behind the closet door? On the nightstand? Nope.
No, I got all the hangers, so I got all the hangers this time. It's not the shoes. Let's see. It's the toilet paper. No. Oh, wait.
Ah! There we go.
He has too much stuff.
There's so much stuff.
He does. He has too much
He
stuff.
likes my spontaneity.
He does. I actually like that it's different for each one.
It's cute, yeah.
Okay, so I do have to move this because if it just stays there, it's going to be like, nope. All right, let's get my books done. Now we are back home and we're going to move more things around, put our little plushies on the floor. I actually kind of want the dragon plushie, by the way, in real life.
The dragon plushie is very good.
Yeah. Okay, come here, doggo.
It has like it looks like it has a
sister.
good firmness to it.
Yeah. All right, let's just get you off right here. I think this is an interesting category too. You get to kind of like see how like on certain levels, like how things change around. I have to take off these belts.
It's cool you get to see like all the things that are part of the environment when you move in that are still interactable.
Yes. That's kind of what I like about it is that the things that you don't typically see, like you kind of see it in the any percent because like some things will move around, but you're just kind of like, no, like you didn't know that you had to go into these drawers, right? Or you had to, put...
Like I didn't know those belts were movable.
Yeah. And then, yeah. So let me put... You can put stuff underneath the bed, but right now I'm just kind of like, let's just kind of get it out. Okay.
It also forced you to sort of explore every single thing.
Yeah. Come here, you. There you go. If I put the diploma on the wall, which I am more than happy to do so, but it's going to say,
valid.
nope, it's okay right there.
Can you put
The
the
what?
diploma on the bathroom wall?
You know what? I don't know. I'm kind of curious.
That
Okay,
would
hold
be
on.
a very weird spot to put a diploma, so.
Yeah, let's do that. Okay. And then I'm
Honestly,
going to open these up.
that kind of rules.
I'm hoping it allows it. I haven't tried it, to be honest with you, so I'm kind of curious what's going to happen right now. But yeah, so there is all these like items that we do have to take out inside the bathroom. We do have to what's kind of cool about this bathroom too is that this is your childhood dream, like your childhood home that you're moving back to, but this is the first time that you get to see the bathroom. On the first time when the go around you do it, you don't see this bathroom. Let's put you over here. And then let's put you over here. Okay. Is it the diploma? No, the diploma can stay.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes. Exactly.
There we
it
go.
is. That's awesome. I love it. Okay. We should always put diplomas in our bathrooms. Actually, it was a good spot. Let's do this. So this is like our apartment that we move in. So what's important to remember with this in the speed run is that everything I'm unpacking right now, I'm kind of wanting it in a certain space because when my girlfriend like moves in, I am going to like, things are going to be shifting around. So like all of a sudden like furniture's there and then boxes appear. And so because of that, I have to be aware of like where I'm putting things.
Yeah, so what happens if you put something, well, not that you put stuff in a place where a box would appear in the next level?
So if like, let's say I like put it in the box, like right here, the boxes appear.
But the boxes
It's just
go
going to
somewhere
shift
else.
around
Okay.
to over
interesting.
here.
I was not aware it was dynamic.
Huh?
I wasn't aware it was dynamic.
Yeah.
What if it can't
But
find
what-
the spot to do it?
There is so it's not often that it happens, but if you don't like put things in the spots that, sorry, I'm kind of like thinking, if you don't put them in the spot, like in a specific spot, all of a sudden when the items move around, they will go into a spot that is allowed. So in other words, like
Okay.
it gets really messy because you're like, oh, I didn't know it was this one. You know what I mean?
So it'll like put stuff in valid spots in order to fit the boxes.
Yep.
And then,
Exactly.
okay. And then you have to move them again then in the next level.
Yeah.
That makes
You
sense.
can. It's just you're like, oh, well, I don't want to do that in a speed run because
Yeah, exactly.
you don't want to find that one thing. Yeah. Are you gonna start unpacking speed runs, May?
Maybe. Darkstar does seem pretty fun, I will say.
Darkstar is fun.
I got other stuff on my to-do list though.
Oh, okay. What would you like to be speedrunning next?
I've been learning Roller Coaster Tycoon 2.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's been fun.
Oh, okay. I might. After this, I'm gonna get with you because I
have this
wanted
going
to
to bed,
speedrun
but
that.
tomorrow we could talk about it.
Yeah. Oh no. I this week kind of thing because I'm like sitting here going like,
That's a stressful run. Fair warning.
is it?
Well, it's very rapid.
Got it. Okay. Because I love Roller Coaster Tycoon.
It's
Like
so
I
good.
absolutely love it. Yeah. I played it a lot as a kid. Okay, let's see. But the speedrun, like I looked at it like one time years ago. And then after that, I've been meaning to get back to it. But then I think it was just like, I think it was stressful. And I was like, okay,
Yeah.
I got to do this like at a slower pace.
It is definitely like a lot of like, okay, I have 9 things I need to think of, and I have to make sure that I'm moving things in the right way, or else like it'll hit this bug that'll mess things up. Then also there's a little bit of RNG involved, and I have to like mitigate lag and things like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's a lot going on in that one.
Ooh, that's good to know. Because, yeah, like
It's fun,
that, it's a great game, yeah. If anyone who hasn't played Roller Coaster Tycoon, I definitely give it a recommend. It's one of
I
those
agree.
games where... Oh, go ahead.
I agree. That's all I was saying. Is I agree.
Oh, gosh. I don't know. There's so much fun to see, like managing a park, you know what I mean? But then all of a sudden, like, you just... I don't know. It's just like the whole cleanup and
Did
like
you play
building.
Half Point University? 2 Point
No.
University? Is that it? That one came
I
out
have-
last year. It's fun. I think it's on Game Pass.
Okay.
It's a university like tycoon game, but it has a bunch. It's a lot more comedy stuff. So like one of the like degrees that your students can take is like becoming knights, things like that.
Okay. I haven't
enjoyed
heard
it.
that.
It's by the people who made Theme Hospital.
Oh,
Heard of that
okay,
one.
okay. I gonna have to come back to you on that because I will be interested in that. So right now I'm just kind of like making sure that. So as you saw, like I opened up that cabinet right there. Because I want to make sure that like for the next round I have access to it. There's gonna be 2 things that pop up. It's gonna be like a cleaning thing, and then like the trash bags that you have to do. But come on, go over there. Thank you. Magnets, go right there. Thank you. But yeah, like as long as I've just like have these doors open, and then I'm like unpacking it so that I'm not like conflicting it, then we're all good. I just want to make sure that I have access. Okay, so we're gonna put you right there. As I am unpacking, I wanted to ask chat, what have you thought about the whole, like, your favorite item or anything like that? Or what bugs you the most about what's on the floor? Okay, so let me see. Ukulele's good. Oh, wait. Nope, that's good. It's probably the bedroom.
Something about the medicine cabinet?
No.
Oh, it is just empty.
Aha. So remember earlier the ice pack?
Yeah. Oh, it's an
Yeah,
ice
it was
pack.
one. Yep.
I thought it was a compression glove. Or like a big one.
Where are you? Oh, of course. There it is. The easel. Apparently the easel is allowed next to the window, next to the game. I disagree with you so much sometimes.
That's what I was saying with the run earlier, is like, there's so much stuff where I'm like, okay, this is valid. Come on.
Right? You're like, okay. You know my pain.
Like all the little travel stuff, I put them in the bathroom. I thought they like added some flair to the bathroom. The game was like, what are you doing? I'm like, I think this is fair. I don't know.
You're like, come on. Yeah, I think the same thing a lot of times. Where I'm just like, especially with the Dark Star, it's more like, oh, come on. It's like, that's an obvious spot where that doesn't belong. But the game's like, no, it
Yeah, it is funny where
I'm like,
sometimes the
all
game's like, yeah, that's fair. And I'm like, okay, but how about this thing that makes sense in my brain? And it's like, what do you think you're doing?
Yeah, exactly.
I would
Okay,
never
so-
allow that. And I'm like, okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah. All right. I have to admit, those like little coasters are like the cutest like things ever.
The citrus ones?
Yes.
Yeah, they're so good.
They are.
Wait, is that umbrella valid?
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay.
Because now it's in an invalid spot, if that made sense.
Wait.
Like,
Oh, because
so now
the entire thing is an invalid spot, they're also considered invalid.
yep.
Gotcha.
Isn't that, it's very interesting, yeah.
I guess that makes
I love
sense.
that. I guess. I'm with you too. Okay, so
I'll be honest. The toilet or like the bath mat and the toilet mat being so far away from the toilet is maybe the most stressful thing so far.
Oh, really?
I don't know why. I don't know why I hate it so much. I think it's because it's close. It's like the uncanny valley of like interior design.
Okay. I was thinking logistically when you get out of the shower.
Well, also, I mean, yeah, you're gonna drip water everywhere, but
Yep.
which it's extra bad because you're gonna drip it all over all of the rest of your stuff.
Exactly. These shoes. Okay. And then now we have some room. Bless. But then the hangers come and you're like, why? Okay, there you go. This backpack, I bet you this backpack is gonna be valid. Just watch. I kind of want to like place some bets being like, what's gonna be valid or not valid? Let's see. Okay, there you go. This one's actually the hardest one for me. I start running out of space, and I'm
It does
like,
look like it's
where
getting
do I?
pretty tight here.
Yeah, and then now I'm like, yeah, I could breathe again. But then when the hangers come, you're like,
Because see, again, it's the socks, right? Because if you were being a true unpacking disaster, you could just toss all the socks literally anywhere.
yes,
But instead, they take up space here.
yes. It's the socks that are the true villain. Okay, hold on. This is gonna get valid, but now let's make it invalid. Okay, so think we're okay. May, I think we're gonna make it.
All right.
Oh wait. Where am I gonna put this? No, why hanger do you exist? Okay, we're gonna have to do that. Okay, I'm running out of room, so I'm just gonna put this in here. So another good strat too is like if you can't find it right away, just put it in another room, because then you're just like, okay, well, it's gonna be invalid. Yeah. So if you did like the hangers are being a poop, and you're like, oh, okay, you could just put there. Let's put it like that. We got all these things, and then we got to get these two.
Is that computer? Is the computer tower? Is that technically? Is that not moving?
Oh, valid. Yes, it is. You are correct. Let's move it.
I'm
there.
learning.
You are. Now you gotcha. Oh, wait. This would. Yeah. Okay, so these mats are gonna make it valid. Come here, you. No. Okay, you know what? All right. Thanks, mats. Oh, okay. So this is what I mean by I gotta take this out and take that out. But then we're okay after that. So then we have A, E, I, O, U. And we have our like cute little pictures. I-wee. And then we can go like this. I honestly love it when she moves in. She actually has some pretty cute stuff, in my opinion.
I agree.
That I like completely agree with. Like these little magnets. She has a poop one. I already like her. And then like the sunflowers.
Oh, put the fish. You gotta put the fish on the chair. It's a throwback to the last run.
Okay.
All right, never mind. Don't go that far out of your way to do it. Wait, is that under the table? Oh, that was a weird Z index sort of thing.
Okay, let's see. That's so loud. It's probably the bedroom.
Something in those drawers? Or
oh, wait.
Oh, yep. You put it in the tub?
There it is.
There we go.
Do you see what I mean by I disagree with that? But I see why it was agreeable in that case because of the toilet. All right, so we are on the last level. This is their house that we all like get to move into. This is still a longer level, but just wanted to kind of give a heads up in terms of like when I don't have an error and everything's in the right spot, then that's when time will be called.
So is this level easier or harder on Dark Star?
I think it's harder.
Okay. There's so much space that I could have seen it being easier.
Yeah. So the part that it gets hard is what is allowed.
Okay.
So like right here is the laundry room, right? So what happens is if I put like any laundry products near it, it's like, oh, okay, you're allowed. So if I put this like anywhere right here,
that's valid.
it's gonna be like that's allowed, yeah. But
I can see it also being like really hard to see what you messed up.
Yes, that's the other thing too. So like one run, I had a box of tampons that were like near the toilet that I could not see like at all. So I was just like, okay, like that, you know what I mean? Okay, this one can go right there. And then the toilet paper can go like pretty much anywhere in the room except for right here. Isn't that
to some extent,
funny?
I feel like that bath mat being in the shower isn't that unreasonable. Because sometimes people have like the mat in the bottom like to prevent slipping, you know?
Yeah.
I think I might have done that at first when I played this. Not realizing that it wasn't one of those.
Yeah. Let me see. I'm kind of like, I think this is going to be like allowed, so I'm going to put it over here. This one got me last, what do you call it? Practice. Come here, you cute little towels. All right. Now, I put you over here because you're just hard to put away. And then there we go. I have a feeling that is going to be like one of the things that will get me. Okay, so in this is where I start kind of like
Room
Try to
swapping
do
more?
my best. Huh?
Room swapping more?
Yeah. So from here on out, I will be like when I go back to that one room, I am gonna give the warning just of like, oh hey, I'm gonna swap a lot, and it's just gonna be like a little bit flashy.
Okay.
And so it's just the way that it looks, basically. But I'll do it after I'm doing like the rest of the rooms so that everything will be good. There's all these chickadees and they're so cute. Okay, so let's put them all over here because I'm
I think
So-
that this should be impossible because anywhere that they are is valid.
Aww, you think that they should be like all together and valid anywhere?
Exactly.
Aww, I love that.
I love this. This room's like the easiest one. That
Yeah,
one,
it is.
That, the guest bathroom or the secondary bathroom.
Yeah. It really is because you only have like a few items.
Yeah.
By the way,
All
I totally
books.
agree that there's so many books that could have been left on a package, by the way.
There's so many.
There's so many. I mean, I'm glad that, yeah, I'm like with you. I'm glad you got a lot of success, but, you know, you can put them in a box. I wonder what the book is about, though.
I assume it's a pig. That's all I know.
I think there's a
And a
bird
giraffe?
and a pig. Maybe a giraffe. Oh, yeah, maybe a giraffe.
I don't know. I wonder
Maybe,
if
do you
the
think that's-
developers have ever stated.
You know what? That's a good point. Maybe. I'm wondering, I have like a conspiracy theory.
Okay.
I think that's like a hint to the next game.
Oh. That'd be
But that's just
interesting.
Yeah. You see it live right now.
Follow the money.
Follow the money. Or it's just actually just like, you know, this person became successful because of developing the game. All right, so we're gonna put the little plants over here. So this room,
God, the moment
I
you
need
walk
to
through
make.
that door, that laptop is destroyed.
Yep, and I'm gonna leave it there too. So sorry for anyone if it bothers you, but I have to leave it. I need room to put things because it's actually kind of hard to. So this box right here is actually taking a lot of space.
Yeah, it's a big box.
Yeah. Okay. Imagine like having to walk in on this and then you like you have everything on the floor and you break the laptop and then there's books on the seats.
You know what we need? We need the unpacking technology where when you're done with the box, it vanishes into thin air. You don't have to take it out to the recycling.
In real life.
Yeah.
Yeah,
develop
I
that.
agree.
That'd be amazing.
I would love it so much. Me too. Do you know how many times I have to like tear down my boxes
I hate doing it.
yeah, same. Or like getting the box cutters and, you know. Yeah, I hate it. Let's put the fish on the chair
Yeah.
in honor for for Holly. Because I think Holly wasn't allowed. But I'm allowed.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Okay, so I could put you right there. I would say that the kitchen is my least favorite to unpack. Trying to find everything to kind of put like in a spot is a little harder because like, as you can see,
The
well, maybe
boxes
this is
take
my
up so
second
much.
favorite. Yeah, they do. Like this tall one, I can't, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I
you
have
can't
to
see
start getting
behind
rid of it. Yep. And I should have probably done that one first, but for some reason I kind of got to this box over here. Alrighty. Let's get this. Yay! And then all of a sudden I'm happy I have space and I'm like, freedom. Which, by the way, I've been listening to the George Michael song Freedom lately. Really great song.
I'm just vibing to the sounds of everything clanking on the floor.
I was wondering about the sound effects.
Are there different clanks depending on what you put things on?
Yep.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
So like,
yeah.
yep. It's so good. I love it. All right, now I have some room I can put you. Oh, wait, no. It's actually kind of a little bit ASMR-y.
Yeah, I can see it.
Because it actually sounds nice. Oh. Let's move you over here. Actually, that's allowed, so I'm going to have to... Let's put you right here, put you right there. All right, now you're happy again.
All right.
I can do some space. So ideally, like on the top runners, you'll like learn where to put like things exactly. And so you don't have to like take time away from like repositioning or anything like that.
It's like a lot. That seems like a lot of like memorization.
Yep.
In things like this, I'm definitely more of a like know generally the right place to put it.
Yep, that's how I am. Like I'm like, oh, this is a good spot, but I haven't memorized like the exact boxing order.
Yeah.
Or like what I've memorized is like, oh, okay, well, this is what it's allowed and this is what's not allowed.
Yeah.
But like everything inside a box, I cannot tell you what's the next thing that's gonna come out. All I know is when it does come out, I'm like, okay, well, I know your hitbox, so I know where to put you.
Yeah, I can see that being like not like just knowing that order and then not having, because it's not random, right? It's always static.
Yeah.
And yeah, like knowing that would let you like you wouldn't even have to like react.
Oh, I think I just allowed that. That's okay. I love it how I'm like, that's allowed and that's not allowed. Alrighty, so as we are finishing up with this last level, I was curious about what everybody thought of the whole entirety of the game. For anyone new coming in or anything like that, this is Unpacking. Just a very, very cute little indie game done by a company.
Custom Robo?
Huh?
Sorry, continue.
Oh, and then, yeah, sorry, my brain's like, I'm at the part where I'm like, oh, okay, so there's going to be a lot of flashing right here because I'm going to be dealing with a lot of hangers. If this is bothersome to anyone with the eyes, just look away. It's not as frequent, but still, just in case it does bother you. I don't want
If we could get the flashing
anyone to...
lights warning turned on, that'd be nice.
Yeah. Okay,
if you do want to try this game is on Game Pass if you have that. It's also on pretty much everything now, right?
Yeah. Although I don't... Maybe not Switch?
No, I played it on Switch. It's on Switch.
Okay, so then... Okay, then yes.
Yeah.
I just love that they move in together. It's so cute.
It is very cute. I got this game so I could play it on a flight on the way to Flame last year.
Okay.
And then beat it before leaving.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I just started playing it and then I just played the whole thing.
Aw, I didn't know that. Oh, I love hearing that. I am kind of curious. How was it on the Switch because of the controllers?
I think that like if I was playing more than just like the standard gold star run and was doing like all achievements and stuff, like going for that, then I would probably gotten pretty frustrated with the Switch, but overall it worked fine. But I generally just like I also if I'm like traveling, I don't mind doing controller stuff as much. Like I played a bunch of Power Wash Simulator on the Steam Deck, which is not the way to play it. But it was fine because I was doing it on a... I didn't mind doing it that way, so I still liked it.
Yeah, I've only played it on the PC, so I was just curious like what it was like on the controller. I haven't done it on the controller quite yet. Oh, this box, you're so big. Why do you have to be so big? Okay, so let me put you over here. More hangers. The bait of my existence. Okay,
There's
there
so
you go.
many.
So there's some room. Yeah, there are. Yeah, I remember when like watching the run earlier, being like, oh, this is like my least favorite room. Like, yeah, it's mine in Darkstar as well because of just the whole amount of hangers you have.
Closets in this
Basically.
game were the only part of it that I didn't really enjoy.
Yeah.
Because that actually felt like a chore.
That is true. It does feel like a chore. I mean, like, yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like,
I get that, like, it's such a, like, a major part of, like, it'd be weird if you play this game and they didn't have any clothes to unpack.
yes.
But I just wish that there weren't socks ever again. I never want to see a sock again in my life.
All these folded up socks and underwear. I actually don't fold up. Oh, that's TMI. I don't fold up my socks.
I don't fold. I don't ball my socks ever. I just grab socks as I need them.
Same. I don't know. I only do like the top part. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, yeah.
Like I'll find two socks and like make sure that I don't have like a mismatched pair kind of deal. But a lot of times I'll just, I don't know. Same thing with other things, but yeah.
Wait, can the block go there?
Yeah.
Oh.
So there's a part of this room, and it's only, and I'll show you like how big, from here to here.
Oh, because it's the door.
Yep. So it'll do that, but the pacifier will take.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a little weird what it will and what it won't. Like it will take that. Like that could go anywhere except for like there for some reason.
Yeah, I will say baby room placement does seem the most avant-garde.
Yep. It is a little bit. How do I put it? Interesting. What is accepted? And I'm just like, okay, all right, sure. But this whole spot right here, as you can tell, like most of these things will be in here except for that stuff. That stuff is allowed anywhere in there, so you kind of have to put it in there.
Oh, okay.
I could put you down here. Let's put you here. So I could finally put, I put it too much. I gotta put it over here. There we go. So like these balls, those could go
That
like
makes sense.
anywhere in the room. Yeah. And then we're okay right here. Hey. Oh, wait. Come here, you pacifier. But I think it's so cute that we have a little baby. There's a little bunny. Shout out to Char Bunny.
It's a very
I just
cute
had to do
rabbit.
that. Yeah. The bunny's allowed anywhere in here, too.
Good.
That was kind of, yeah. I was just like, interesting. Some of the stuffed animals are and some of them aren't. Okay, so this is allowed. Let's put it there. That's all good. You're all good. You're all good. You are all good.
That seems
you are
fine.
good. As soon as I find it, and that will be time. So there's that one. I bet you it's in the bedroom. 90% of the time it's the bedroom. Oh, wait, are you okay? And the bathroom for me. So that's okay. Aha!
There we go.
Aha!
And the trash, yeah. Oh, there's more?
Okay. Yep, this thing. You could go there. All right, hold on. That's all
rest
good
seems
now.
Flashing.
Everything's flashing here.
The plush. The pillow plush.
Really? It's time. Okay, thank you, May. Thank you for
Teamwork.
finding where's the teamwork. Where's not Waldo, but where's the unpacking item supposed to go?
Wait, what's the last message? that you put.
Oh,
in the
you want to see the last
scrapbook.
message? Looks good to me. Time for a
Oh,
nap.
I was hoping it'd be like bless this mess.
I was hoping it was going to say Andromeda.
Same.
Well, that is the Dark Star to show that, you're going to get the cute little song right now, and I love it. But thank you for having me. I am Cutie Roo. You can find me on Twitch or Twitter. I do intend to go back to streaming one day, but we'll see. Right now, I am doing things at GDQ. I am very happy to be here. I am a hotfix showrunner for Legally Cute. And that's on next Friday. And yeah, it starts at 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern. And it's every other week. And this is amazing showcase for all of the Game of the Months with the Frame Fatales community. And I'm very honored to be here to do this on the Tiny Treefort.
Thanks for being here. It was a lot of fun. I feel like I've learned so much about how to not organize my house.
Do you want me to come to your house now and help you unorganize it?
We could talk. Thanks,
here's the.
Oh,
sorry. I was gonna say all you have to do is just throw it. Okay, May? You're
okay. Thanks everyone for hanging out with us. Tune in tomorrow for Game Masters, followed by Time Capsule, all starting at 7 p.m. Eastern. This has been Tiny Treefort. If you are interested in joining the Frame Fatales community and you are a woman, then you can. There are multiple ways to get involved. You could be running the games of the month all the time here with us. You can head to twitter.com/framefatales, or you can email framefatales@gamesdonequick.com to get to join the server. It's a wonderful community, and we're just happy to be able to show off so many wonderful parts of it. Thanks for hanging out, and have a good night.